Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is the Watchalong, Manchester United versus Newcastle, or Newcastle versus Manchester United. We've got a fully packed and stacked lineup today. Jay Motty's here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. I'm good.
You ready for the big day?
I'm nervous about today. Me and you did the preview, didn't we? And I said it's the perfect storm for Newcastle.
Absolutely.
Like, everything's lining up for them to give us a big hiding. But I always get a little bit more giddy as the game gets closer. So hopefully I'm wrong and we'll win.
Yeah. We've got Scotty here as well. How are you, Scotty?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm nervous for the sake. I don't want anyone getting injured ahead of Thursday night. I'm not.
Yeah.
The result is secondary to me, but as long as we get through without anyone needing medical attention.
That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you purposely worn horizontal stripes as a sort of anti-Newcastle agenda?
Well,
They've gone vertical, you've gone horizontal.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I thought it was because Ethan's last shift. I thought
Well, also,
solidarity.
with it being Newcastle, the Newcastle Watchalong, we have got our resident Geordie. I say resident, it's his last shift today. We've got Ethan James over in producer corner as well. Ethan James is here. How are you?
Tune, black and white, RV. Tune.
I regret this already.
We're gonna batter the United scum today, Joe.
Are you excited?
Buzzing. I'm buzzing for another 3 points, and that race for Champions League football is gonna keep on going, baby.
No, I didn't like any of that. It is Ethan's last shift today, and when he says things like that, you kind of think, thank God. But
justified decision, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. People in the comments talking about, someone said Ethan quit. Why is Ethan allowed to leave? I don't know how employment law works in your part of the world, but I think that's just life, I'm afraid. He is allowed to leave, and he is leaving, but we're not going to mourn him.
You can if you want.
No, we don't.
I don't
might
mind.
do privately. We're not going to now. We've got loads to get into, of course. Get your thoughts in on the game and on Ethan leaving.
Born in privately.
No, I said we can, not that we will. We've got a super chat from Alex Jose for potentially the last time. What time are Newcastle playing today, Ethan?
4:30 p.m.
4:30, just like Manchester United. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Let's get into Man United's team news then, and we'll get into the Newcastle team as well. A slightly rotated side, and we'll start at the back, as we always do. Altay Bayindir makes his Premier League debut for Manchester United. No Onana in the squad whatsoever. Then a back three of Mazraoui, Lindelof and Yoro. We've got Dalot, Fernandes, Ugarte and Harry Amas making... Is it his Man United debut?
I think so. He's only played pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, he came on, didn't he, the other day?
Did he?
When was it, Harvey, that he was... Leicester.
Came on against
He's
Leicester?
He's played for United.
So it's his full debut?
It's full debut, yeah.
So he's coming on and starting for his full debut. Then we've got Garnacho, Ericsson as well in there coming in, and Joshua Zirkzee as well. A pretty stacked bench. We've got Heaton, Maguire, Heaven back on the bench already, which is pretty good.
Great to see.
When he went off against, who was it? He went
Leicester.
off against Leicester. It looked as though it could be 12 months out, let alone, 12 days or something. No, it's been about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not long at all, and he's back in the squad already, which is brilliant to see. Luke Shaw still just making his mark, just biding his time to come back. He's not come back on yet, has he, since he came back? He's just been on the bench a couple of times. We've got Dorgu, Casemiro, Mainu again, obviously coming back to fitness, Mount coming back to fitness, and Rasmus Højlund on the bench as well. Let's start at the back, Jay. I think you predicted Bayindir to start. I predicted Onana to start because I just thought Amrin would keep him in, but you kind of saw this coming. No one's surprised, but do you think it's the right decision?
The reason I saw this coming was obviously what happened against Lyon, and I thought that it might be a bit of an ask just to throw him straight in against Lyon. I think he'll pick him for that game as well, unless he does something horrible this game. So I did think this would happen. Onana not being in the squad kind of makes sense as well, because obviously he's been dropped, hasn't he? So take him out of the limelight. It's not been a happy time for him. Bayindir's a bit of a funny one. He had a stinker against Spurs, but did well against Arsenal. So I'm just hoping he can sort of just have a decent game today. I know it's going to be very difficult, especially against Alexander Isak, but as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, then that'll be enough for me. The rest of the team, like Scotty was saying, I think there is half an eye on Lyon. It's not the strongest team available, is it? I think, no disrespect, I don't think Christian Eriksen starts if everyone's available. Well, even with some of the players on the bench, I think they'd get ahead of him. But it is there is enough quality there to at least put up a fight against Newcastle. I know that sounds defeatist, but I fear the worst. I really do. I don't mean to be negative. I just look at the way Newcastle play, look at the way we play, look at that game at Old Trafford where it was all over after 25-30 minutes. Admittedly, I think Amrin got it wrong with Ericsson and Casemiro in midfield, and that was a game that Joshua Zirkzee obviously got booed off. But it's going to be a tough afternoon. To see there as well, a bit of an update. Jadon Sancho scored against Ipswich. Good.
Great news.
No, do you know what? Like, I hope he scores 10 more goals this season
Yeah.
because we want him to buy him. We don't want any nonsense about them paying £5 million for us to have him back. So I'm glad he has scored. Sorry, I digress there. I just came up.
Speaking of people scoring that never score, do you see Mattis Tell scored for Tottenham today? And what did they spend, like 10 million quid on the
Do you
loan
remember the
fee?
meltdown
And
for
we
that?
wanted
Yeah.
him and we didn't get him and everyone was going ballistic and he's been completely non-existent today. And he scored the one goal in a 3-1, currently 3-1 down against Wolves. Scotty, just on Onana, we
Yep.
talked about it a lot the other day. I know you haven't spoken about it much on the channel or at all, maybe on the channel. Are you kind of done with him? Do you think this is the beginning of the end, or do you think we're just bringing him out with the aim of him being the first choice goalkeeper again once his head's sort of come back?
My take on it is I don't think he is a good goalkeeper. I think he's average at best. I think what happened against Leon was always on the cards, really. I'm thankful it was only a 2-2 draw and we were still in the game. I think the decision's strange with Bayern today because if he's going to play Onana on Thursday night, that cranks the pressure up for Onana in my eyes. I'd have put him back in now because there's no pressure really on this game. Okay, United could get beat, but he can settle his nerves a little bit. But having that little bit of gap of time towards if you're bringing it back for the Europa game. So for me, if I'm hammering and playing Bayern today, then I'm playing Bayern again on Thursday night.
Completely agree with that.
I think if Bayern plays well today, he will play Thursday.
Yeah.
But you couldn't say, I know he hasn't said anything yet, but we've seen these rumours, we've seen the reports coming out that he might come, Onana might come back in for the Sociedad game, the Lyon game. But they couldn't say he's dropped and he won't play in that game either, because if Bayern has the game he had against Tottenham today, well, Onana will have to come back in, or it might be Tom Heaton's chance. Like, I think this is absolutely a trial shift for Bayern. If he plays well, he'll be in on Thursday almost certainly. Let's go through the rest of the team then. Obviously, Harry Hamas, a bit of a weird situation with him because pre-season, I know it was Ten Hag, he seemed keen. He seemed one of the kind of next names in that cycle of like academy to first team on that kind of through line, and then just didn't play at all. And we've had loads of injuries to fullbacks. We've had Luke Shaw been out all season until 2 weeks ago. We had Dorgu obviously only came in January. We've had Malacia been out all season mostly, and now he's on loan as well. And yet we still didn't see Harry Hamas play. It's only now that he's getting this opportunity. Does that surprise you, Jay? Did this season pan out the way you thought it would for him? And do you think he's still got a shot at kind of making it at United?
Well, my thoughts on Harry Hamas. We met him on pre-season. Steve spoke to him quite a few times, spoke to him on and off camera quite a lot. Very mature young lad. Was sort of self-critical after a couple of the games, said they weren't his best. Then he had some really good performances and was able to sort of, show us what he's about, and I was impressed with him, just his attitude, his mindset and his ability. I like the way he plays. He's a very front foot defender, and there was that time in pre-season where we were watching him and Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side, were linking up really well. So I did think we'd see a little bit more of him. I did think he'd get a few more minutes than he has done. Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't know whether it is maybe some people saying there's a question mark, but has he got the pace and the physicality that you perhaps need? Yeah, obviously he's only still, he just turned 18, I think he is. But I'm surprised he's not had more games. I like what I see, and there's sort of there's been already question marks about does Amorim really fancy him? Well, he's given him a start in a big game. I know it's mitigating circumstances, but trust him enough to start him in the Premier League, so there's got to be some level of faith there, and I hope we see more of him.
If on that day when he and Rashford kind of linked up down that left-hand side, I said to you, by April, one of these will be starting for Man United and one will be out of the club. Yeah. How many times of me telling you it was Rashford that was out would it take for you to believe me?
About 100, to be honest with you. I think me and you were getting carried away. Anyway, we were watching that, and I was like, there you go, there's the future of the left-hand side of United. Yeah, all right, Marcus Rashford don't play for us anymore. Harry Hamas is making his full debut. West Ham have scored!
1-1 against
yes,
Can we get that on the telly, please? Because
there
seems to be no reason why it isn't. Yeah, we'll put it on. Thank you. We're going to use what we're going to use to watch the game in a bit. Right, do it now. Anyway, I'm sure we can find a way.
Sorry to have this discussion on camera, but my laptop's in there if you want to use mine.
Oh, there you go. Now we're talking. Let's put that on. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1. The problem is, this is the annoying thing.
Imagine if
Liverpool
Liverpool
loads of games recently.
Lost today and then lost the next 6 games.
Arsenal dropped 2 games to 2 points.
But that's
2 games on the bounce, isn't it?
So let's say they draw this game. Yeah. They lost to Fulham the other day. They lost to Newcastle in the cup final because Arsenal aren't doing any better anyway. As we get Jay's laptop going here we go. Have we frozen? What's happened? Okay, can we
Keeps doing
close
that.
and start? Fired right now, Ethan. If Ethan wasn't leaving, he would be after this. Sorry about that. But we should have everything sorted there. We've got a couple of super chats. Callum Ridings says, can't have a go at United's transfer policy, then not put a release clause in Ethan's contract. That's a good point. Excited for Amas for the first 2-footer on Murphy. Paul Shoes. Again, it's a nicely compact, detailed
Remind everyone,
super
Paul
chat.
Shoes.
I don't know what happened. There was someone in doing some super chats a few weeks ago, and I think he was talking about Paul Scholes.
Oh, I remember that.
But for some reason, all he said in his super chat, he didn't say like. There's sometimes be like, "Oh, I saw what Paul Scholes said about De Ligt, and I think he's talking nonsense." The super chat was like £2, and it literally just said Paul Shoes, and it made me laugh at the time. And since then, everyone's just put it as super chats. Tribe OC says, "Isn't Onana out because of his wife being in a burglary?" I have seen this, but I think it's a very unusual coincidence. Maybe it's it gives Amorim the chance to do the right thing on a kind of human level of you go and sort out what needs to be sorted.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the football is a ruthless business, and I think that if Onana was in great form and we had a big game today, he would be playing anyway.
Yeah.
I think this is a nice you could probably do with a minute, and you've got bigger fish to fry.
It'll be interesting to see.
That incident happened in the March, though, didn't it? When she got robbed. So, how many games have we played since the end of March?
Yeah,
it's a little.
That
The guy got sent. I think the guy got sentenced this week, and the actual incident wasn't.
Okay.
So
that seems like you said, a bit of a stretch to say that.
We can see the.
There you go. Liverpool
of course,
scored.
Van Dijk scores the winner there for Liverpool. Unbelievable. Manish Kuruvilla says, with the super chat, says, "Cheers, Ethan. You've been class. You'll be missed, and good luck."
Bit better, Adrian. Would you say I have?
Bit better than what?
Just like it was before and that.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You've certainly tried.
Thank you.
I'll give you that. No, you have. It's been great having you on the channel, of course. Looking ahead, obviously Liverpool are going to win, and they're going to win the league anyway. Because even if they lost today, they would have still won the league, as we said before. Arsenal aren't really stopping them. That's the problem, isn't it? You can lose as many as you want. If the other team trying to beat you is also losing, they're not going to catch you, are they? Front three: Eriksen, Garnacho, Xerxes. This is another style, another rotation. The one thing that remains, though, Garnacho's basically back to starting every game again, isn't he? He's had a lot of criticism recently. Are you surprised that he's playing all these games, Scotty? Would you have brought him in and out, or do you just think, other people need rotating?
I think it's down to sort of the fitness levels of Mainu and Mount, and I don't think they're ready to start games quite as much yet. But I think Garnacho's still got a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Obviously, goal scorer in front. He's playing alongside Xerxes, who may give him more options in the box than Højlund as of late. But as a front three, I'm looking forward to it. Bruno dropping deep as well is another thing when you're looking at the front three, because I prefer Bruno dropping deep than as a number 10.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Jay? I want to hear your thoughts on that, because we spoke about Garnacho the other day. I thought he had a slightly frustrating performance again against Lyon. I know you've been backing him in terms of his potential, and you still think there's a player that could turn things around. Are you surprised that he's been played through this? I mean, it is a poor patch of form, isn't it?
It is, and one of the sort of comments that we all make about Garnacho is the idea that he has been overplayed at times. The guy started, 30-odd games under Ten Hag last season on the spin in succession, regardless of his form, whether he's playing well or not. He is usually fit, he's usually available, and he's just sort of, in some cases, maybe getting run into the ground a little bit. I know he's only young, but you do think now and again he could do with a breather, he could do with taking out of it. He's just played away at Lyon, didn't have a very good game, if I'm being brutally honest, and this is coming from someone who's, like you said, is defending him. And he starts again against Newcastle. I don't know, maybe the manager looks at it and thinks this is the best way to handle him, get him to play his way out of it. Maybe he's looking ahead to the Lyon second leg and thinking, I might start Mason Mount in that game and I don't want to risk him in this. I don't know the sort of grander scheme. The weird thing that we've got about this game is, in many ways, it's almost irrelevant. I know it's always important Manchester United play a game of football and you want to beat teams and you should always try and turn up and all the rest of it. But it is all about Thursday night, innit? That's your season right there. So I don't know how the manager's looking at it. Is he going, he's starting tonight because he's going to start on Thursday, so I want him to have that momentum? Or is he saying he's going to start today because I'm going to drop him on Thursday and I want Mason Mount to be fully fit, or I want Kobbie Mainoo maybe to be fully fit? Because I think, we said it in the preview, didn't we? I think Casemiro starts on Thursday, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that's why he's not starting. But Casemiro's 31 years old or whatever he is. He might look at Casemiro differently from Alejandro Garnacho. I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see what happens, because I think that this game, as long as we don't, I mean, obviously I want to win, but just don't get battered. Like Scotty's saying, don't get any injuries. Yeah. Let's just get to Thursday and hopefully turn up for that one.
Well, on the other hand, this game is very important for Newcastle. Yeah. So we might as well bring in our resident Newcastle fan, Ethan James. I'm going to go through the Newcastle side, just so we've all heard it, and then we'll get Ethan's take on it. So we've got Pope in goal, Trippier, Schär, Joe Linton. It's done in number order because for no reason whatsoever. Trippier, Schär, Joe Linton, Tonali, Barnes, Isak, Livramento, Murphy, Byrne, and Bruno Guimaraes. Ethan, if you win your 2 games in hand, you'll go third. Thoughts?
Oh, well, that's pretty good, isn't it?
You knew I was bringing you in to talk for about 25 seconds
on the mic.
Sorry, Drew. I'm just sorting a few little graphics and things at the same time. Sorry, Drew. Well, yeah, I think I think we've not rotated this team for a while now, but we had that incredible run where we won 9 games in a row in all competitions, which was equaling the club record. So we then dropped off a little bit. Then the cup final, we won that, and that's just set us off. And I think we've won 4 games in a row now. So we're coming into this in pretty good
momentum. They've hit the bar,
Sorry, West Ham just hit the bar against Liverpool. We are listening to you.
That's okay, Joe.
Sorry.
Yeah, they've still got the ball there.
Fucking, who's that? Double spins. Sorry.
Sorry.
Glitched. Ethan, keep talking. 4 in a row.
So a bit of momentum going into this one, Joe. But there's that weird bit of me. Do you know when you win a few games in a row and you're like, well, that means we're kind of running out of luck again. You don't always win like 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, do you?
The more games in a row you win, the more like the next one isn't a win.
Yeah.
You're not going to win 50 games in a row, are you?
But is that true? But it does feel like that.
It feels a little bit like the gambler's fallacy, doesn't it? We've had 4 on roulette. We've had 4 reds in a row. The next one must be black. Well, not necessarily. It's still just the same odds again. And when you're playing United especially, we're not as good as you. So the odds are you'll beat us. But I don't know. I know what you mean about you're not just going to keep winning forever, are you? Do you like the look of your team? You don't really seem to change anything. It's always that midfield. It's always Dan Burn. Trippier seems to have got back in. Livramento when he's fit. Isaac starts. No Gordon, obviously. But other than that, that's pretty much your team, isn't it?
I'll bring it up now for people to see. It is pretty much our team at the minute. Obviously, Gordon had that injury on England duty. So he had a bit of a bruise, and that's knocked him for 6. Also, big news as well. Eddie Howe's been taken to hospital, hasn't he? So he's going to
hospital.
Yeah. Yes.
I saw that he was unwell and wasn't going to be managing today. When was the hospital thing?
So he was taken ill on Friday evening, I believe. So from what we know, I think he's still there and he's not very well. They used the phrasing conscious and talking, which got everyone really worried. And then the club clarified through journalists that there was no moment where he wasn't unconscious and not talking. So it was a bit scary, people saying that.
It is an odd thing to say, isn't it? He's alive, don't worry. Like, well, no one thought he wasn't alive.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Yes. Obviously.
So who's going to be in the dugout for you?
It's going to be Tyndall, innit? He's loving this. No disrespect, but this is his moment, innit? Yeah. I know he's concerned for his mate, but this is his time to shine.
Honestly, keep him in another day.
Yeah, you can never be too careful. Maybe he needs to stay for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Tyndall's going to love this, and he's shaking Amrim's hand. I mean, he gets to shake the opposition manager's hand first anyway, because it's his club. But he's going to absolutely love being in the dugout, isn't he?
Tyndall time, baby. But you always get a bit, I don't know, if your manager's not on the sideline, I'm not a professional footballer, but I don't know, there must be that kind of like comfort of, it's like if you're in the classroom, when you've got like the supply teacher in or whatever, you know the lesson's not going to go quite as what you planned, and maybe you're not going to learn as much, and maybe you can get away with a few more things. But if you've got your proper teacher there, he's keeping you in order and you feel a bit more secure, don't you?
Let's hope it can destabilise Newcastle. But obviously, you've had a sort of quietly good season. Like you said, these little runs that you've had, and the fact that no one else is properly consistent. Newcastle currently on 53 points, looking all the way up to third. Forest on 57 points, so 4 points clear, but Newcastle have played 2 fewer games.
Yeah.
So like we said before, you can go 2 points ahead of Forest in third place, and you'd only be 4 points behind Arsenal if you win these 2 games. Luckily, United are here to stop you winning those games, but we're back with you in a minute, Ethan, as well.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Jay?
No, I mean, we spoke about Newcastle quite a lot, haven't we? Eddie Howe's done a decent job there. Obviously, they did well initially, kept them up. Then they had that season where they got into the Champions League. Then they had a little bit of a wobble, didn't they? Where it was a little bit tough. I remember there's that. When was that, Eve? When Kieran Trippier was arguing with the fans, or not arguing with them, trying to explain himself to the fans. Against Bournemouth.
That was last season where we had that injury crisis.
Yeah.
And we had a load of youngsters who I don't think have ever played for the club ever again since that kind of period. But
you sold them all for 50 million quid to Chelsea. That's why.
Yeah,
anyway,
but they came through it, is my point.
But it's a good point that, and not to praise Newcastle because I'm not a big fan of their off the pitch goings on, but they had a manager who did really good things in his first full season. Got them to Champions League football. Then they had an absolute injury crisis. But there was never any talk of him going. There was never any, we need to replace him with a bigger manager. Now we're a top 14. We can't be having this 8th place finish or 7th place finish, whatever it was. And they backed him and they kept with him. And now they're back to the form they were in when everyone was fit, which is, surprise, surprise. Like, teams dip off. Teams aren't so good when you have injuries or when your squad isn't, fully fit. And now Newcastle look, I would say, odds on to get top 4. I think at times United could learn from that of just because there's a bit of a downward trajectory for even a full season like last season, you can still turn it around and you can still have a manager that if you trust him and you think he's good, can at least sort of get back to winning trophies now and probably or certainly very much a good chance of getting top 4. Do you think that we lack that sometimes?
I do, but I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling to remember a United manager getting sacked where I didn't agree with it at the time. Maybe Van Gaal, but even then I wanted Jose, so I'd be a hypocrite to say I was completely against that. I thought it was harsh because he just won the FA Cup. I didn't agree with the nature of that sacking in terms of sacking him the day he'd won the FA Cup and announcing Jose the day after. But I kind of got the idea of bringing in Jose Mourinho because I was a big Mourinho fan. Jose, I think, had had enough himself, and I understood why that one was happening. Ole, it just wasn't happening for him, and I think we all deep down could see that it wasn't happening. So at the time, I've kind of been like, all right, I understand it. Do you know what I mean? So I know we can look back and go, okay, we need to do what Newcastle have done. We need to stick with the manager. Like now, I'd love us to stick with Ruben Amorim. I think he's the right guy, but we'll be saying that in a year's time if we're sat in 18th or whatever. If
Newcastle had sacked Howe last season,
yeah.
Obviously, I'm sure there would be plenty of Newcastle fans that thought it was too early or whatever.
Yeah.
But when they were having that really rough patch, and I think they were down to mid, 9th or 10th or whatever it was, if they'd have sacked him and brought in a bigger name manager, let's say they'd have got, I don't know who it would be, but a manager that had won trophies elsewhere, because they hadn't won the Carabao Cup then, obviously. A big European name manager that could come in. Let's say they'd got, before he went to England, let's say they'd got Tuchel.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people, Newcastle fans now, would be sat going, we should have stuck with Eddie Howe, he'd have won the Carabao this season. It's hard, isn't it? Because there's always a time where it feels like, if we'd go now, it feels like the right thing to do, and you'll never know the alternative. I know you weren't keen on Ten Hag.
No, I mean, it's very rare, isn't it? Not even just United managers, but any manager that's left a club. I don't think any fan base has gone, we shouldn't have sacked him. He was the wrong
at the time.
At the time, it never feels like the wrong appointment. But with the thing with Newcastle and Manchester United, there's a lot of variables because they were very similar in terms of the injury crisis. I think United played Newcastle during that time where there was like 10 to 11 injuries per team. It's the money spent as well that Eddie Howe spent for his team compared to Ten Hag.
Yep. There's
the expectation levels, with the greatest respect to Newcastle, they're nowhere near the size club of Manchester United. So you've got that on your belt. So and then Newcastle backed in. They didn't sign anyone in the summer either, did they?
Not
compared to and with that injury crisis.
They were fighting over Mark Gay until.
When did you sign? What's his name? The keeper, Ruddy.
Ruddy was in the summer. Yeah.
Oh, see, they did have a big
that's what I mean.
Fourth choice goalkeeper. I forgot existed.
Who'd probably be United's number 1 today.
100%.
But I do agree with you that the money spent thing. But when you look at who Newcastle have signed, and Isak in particular, he's the difference, isn't he? There, he's the one that I think is a world class number 9. I think he's fantastic. And you think, how much was he? 65 million, wasn't he?
65 million.
65 million. And we bought Højlund for 65 million, or we bought Anthony for 85 million, or we bought Sancho for 72 million. And you think, we could have got Isaac. We could have got him. It was Real Sociedad he was from,
their
wasn't it?
signings have been very good.
And you think like maybe that's on Ten Hag to a certain extent, because obviously Anthony is your ex-player, fair enough. But if our team had bought Isaac for Ten Hag, do you think he would have been as scored as few goals as Højlund this season? Could he have been dragged down to that level? I don't think he could. I think Isaac is just purely too good a player to be dragged down to where some of our players have. So at some point you have to say like Bruno Guimaraes and Isaac is just a better two transfers than Anthony and Casemiro. It just is. And you think like, I'm hopeful that United's people doing the transfers now will buy Amorim more Isaacs and Bruno Guimaraes than Anthony's and Casemiro's. Because if they don't, if you'd have given, and again, flip it the other way, if Anthony was playing up front for Newcastle now, he might still get a game and he wouldn't have had that same absolute hammering, but he wouldn't be a world-class winger like Isaac is a world-class striker. He wouldn't. So I do feel a little bit sorry for United's managers in the past when you think some of the people that are being bought from just aren't good enough.
In a way as well, with Eddie Howe there was an element of, he kept some up, obviously done well there.
Yeah.
A season where you get him into the Champions League, then a season where you drop off. But because you've had that season where you got him into the Champions League, you probably bought yourself enough grace, haven't you?
Yeah.
So like Ten Hag did it, didn't he? He had his second season where he fell off a bit of a cliff. And we were all watching, us get beat, well, it still happens now, 3-0 off Bournemouth and we're mid-table. But we were like, well, he's finished third and won a trophy in his first season, so let's give him time. And then obviously you stuck with Eddie Howe in this season, whereas Eric Ten Hag got worse, or the results got worse under Eric Ten Hag. With Eddie Howe, they've got better. Yeah. So it's not that dissimilar.
Just quickly, RD Red Devils says Isaac didn't come good until this season, Joe. Weak point. Not true. Isaac got 25 goals for Newcastle last season.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. Was it? Where was it? Eve, you lost. Was it against Liverpool where he scored?
Yes, I think that might have been his first game.
I remember watching that game and thinking he's a player, and he played well against City. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's my fault.
Last season, I think it was against City when I think De Bruyne scored against you. But Isaac, I think, scored against them.
Yeah.
And he looked, it's not just this season.
Even in the
every
league,
time I've seen him, he's looked dangerous.
In his first season, he only got 10 goals in 22 games. But even that is roughly a goal every other game.
Jesus Christ.
And more than any of our strikers have got this season. And then last year, like I said, he got 25 goals in all comps. This season, 24 so far, with 20 plus in both league seasons. So that just isn't true. But go on, Scotty.
I was going to say, if you go over a longer period of time, because you're making a Ten Hag comparison there when we're 8th and we're losing certain games. Newcastle, what were they doing 5 years ago? Playing Allardyce football or Steve Bruce. So when they're hitting Champions League, they're allowed to drop down.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
The season after, but you don't have that amount of grace at Manchester United with all things accounted for, with the amount of money they've spent. And I think one thing that Eddie Howe doesn't get credit for from managers, from fans and fan bases, would you say he's improved the players that were already there, Ethan? Like Joe Linton seems to, he's a player that was lost in the wind, wasn't he? He seems a completely different player.
Steve Bruce deserves the credit for that.
No, I think you're exactly right, Scotty. And there's a journalist who I really, really like from the Daily Mail, Craig Hope, and I agree with him completely on this point. He says he thinks that Eddie Howe might be like England's best coach. So when he says best coach, he means the best kind of guy on the grass, getting the best out of players, improving them, making them become better players. And
when you say England, do you mean an English man or in England?
I think English manager.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it probably is.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because if you feel like in England, people would say, well, Pep would arguably be better or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a massive shortage. Of
it's
English
mad how
managers
shit English managers have been
great
for the last, since when? When was the last top level English manager?
Joe Royle, Everton, 95.
Got to be one after that.
Harry Redknapp?
None of it. He wasn't a top level.
So I'm just thinking of trophy wins. When he won the FA Cup in 2008.
No English manager has ever won the Premier League,
yeah.
Which is insane, considering it's the English league. I can't imagine there's another league in the world. I know obviously it's 150 years old, not just 30 years old. But I can't imagine there's another league in the world where in the last 30 years no one from that country has won it. That can't be the case. Obviously loads of German managers have won the Bundesliga. I can think of a handful of Spanish managers instantly that have won. That is mental that no one from this country has won this league as manager.
I'd say
years.
I'd say even beyond that, the Premier League, I'd say there's more managers that aren't from England that have won the English football. I expect the last 50 years. Because if you look at Liverpool's managers, Paisley.
Yeah,
United's most successful managers, Scottish.
I think it's only like George Graham at Arsenal did it a couple of times. I know Al Wilkinson, obviously, he's English and he won it at Leeds, but he's a bit of an outlier, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a lot of British.
Building on this conversation, I actually think I may have been wrong. I think the point you might have been making might have been the best coach on grass in terms of English football.
Right, okay.
Because I'm thinking about this, and there's not really. I think it's quite easy to say Eddie Howe's the best English manager.
Positions, and he's a tapping, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's certainly got the highest placed team of any Englishman. So he's saying that in England, he's the best person on grass to get things out of the players that are at his disposal.
I think that's slightly underpaying Pep Guardiola.
But I think
15 years as a manager.
No. I think the point is saying. I think you can say Pep's the best tactician, obviously, and his ideas and his philosophy are the best. But putting a manager next to a player and getting the best out of him, you can look at people talking about the other day, Jay. He brought in Mateus Nunes, didn't he? And then he's for 50 odd million. He said before he signed him that he's one of the best midfielders in the world when he saw him at Sporting. He's brought him in there. He says he doesn't trust him in midfield, so he plays him at right back. How's that getting the best out of a player?
I'm not going to sit here and defend Pep Guardiola. You can go on a fucking City channel for that. I just think that would be the obvious argument, because I get your point, but a lot of players leave City and fall off a bit of a cliff. He does seem to get good things out of the players he's got. Yes, he's been bankrolled and all the rest of it. But when you look at what he did with Gabriel Jesus or with Raheem Sterling or with even maybe you could argue the way he's handled certain players like John Stones at time when he used him in midfield in the Champions League, he's got a decent record with the players he's got, and also he's been back fully. So I don't know, there's a debate to be there.
I guess the argument would be, how much does Pep improve players?
Yeah.
How much does he improve them? Because he obviously gets great players and makes them play great, but does he take them from level 1 to level 5 the way other managers do, or is he getting players in who are already at that level?
I had this argument with Barcelona.
De Bruyne though, isn't it? Really, it's the best example of that.
Yeah.
I had this argument with Barcelona fan a few years ago because he was like, Pep just turned that team around, and I was like, I remember when we played him in 08, that was a great team that was going to be was decent. They won the Champions League in 06 as well. And he got to the semi-final 08, so he weren't terrible. And Messi was only going to get better. But, does he get credit for getting the best out of Messi and Xavi and Iniesta and all them? I don't know, because he's always had good players, hasn't he?
I mean, the fact that they won another treble after he left is an indicator that, yes, he's amazing. He's obviously an amazing coach, but that team can win without him.
I mean, Bayern Munich got to 2 Champions League finals in the 2 years before he got there, didn't they? And then he didn't get them, sorry. I'm not saying he's not a good manager before he gets carried away. But
they're already the sort of... There's not a huge gap to jump.
No, City was.
There is a talent to getting world-class players and keeping them at the top. Winning 4 in a row isn't easy.
No,
and keeping that mentality, he is obviously great at that. But I do think he hasn't improved teams the way that, there's a lot of, you could argue Neil Warnock is better at improving teams than Pep Guardiola is. Not that he's a better coach, but he'll take someone that's in a relegation scrap and get him an extra 15 points the next season or whatever. But I
would say with Eddie Howe, it's a bit of a... I still think it's still a bit too soon to be making those kind of decisions.
I agree with that.
I mean, he's won one trophy and he's got into the Champions League once, as it stands. So I think to say he's the best coach in England now is a bit of a stretch.
That either, but I'm just...
but I get it.
Just on that, but in terms of improving players, this is what always my bugbear when they go Premier League manager of the season, because it's more often than not it's the person who's won the league who gets the manager of the season.
Yeah.
Should this year not be Nottingham Forest manager? Because from where they were last season and it's been years in the past where David Moyes at West Ham or or Brighton, you could say, okay, their baseline was this, and now they're Champions League
which is
contenders.
One Scotty where they do that, because there's one where Fergie didn't win it that often. Is it the LMA or something?
I'm not sure.
There's the league one, isn't there?
Yeah, there's one where
the writers one.
There's one where they give it to a manager, and it's not always the one who's won the league. They look at stuff like, I remember George Burley, I think, at Ipswich winning it once, and people like that. But I think you're right. I think the usual sort of the main one is just who won the title, right? Give it him.
Yeah.
Whereas,
this season it should be Nuno, shouldn't it? To take them from relegation candidates for the last 2 or 3 years to possible top 4.
Nottingham Forest give me hope for next season.
Yeah, exactly. They're the reason why we might be able to get top 4 next year. We've got 20 minutes till kick-off. We've got a few super chats as well. Adam Twamley says, didn't Dan Ashworth bring Isak to Newcastle? We should look into recruiting him. Very good point.
Good shout out.
Maybe he's one for the summer.
What's he doing at the minute? Is he available?
I think he's out of a job.
Oh,
Does he still work for you, Ethan,
that,
Dan Ashworth? Still work for Newcastle?
I think he's doing something with just a bit of cricket at the minute.
Is he? Playing some cricket in that? Interesting. Steve M says, got any United shirts around the studio? I'm sure Ethan would love to wear one on his last day, especially for this game.
We have, but we're not going to do that.
It's interesting as well, some people's perception of what we're allowed to do as employers, isn't it? We can't, actually, to be fair, we could have a uniform that, can you say it has to be a United shirt? Because a lot of places where it's like you have to wear a suit and tie is... Man, not just like smart casual, but Man United casual. Yeah. Is that allowed?
I think so. Because
actually, at Man United, everyone wears United.
If you go to the City store in the Arndale, they're all wearing City gear. I think you should have been doing that.
Producer Cam, who used to work here, he was a Chelsea fan. I think he's a United fan now, but he's a Chelsea fan, and he would wear a United jacket every day when he was working for United. Yeah. So I guess we could have been doing this all along. Well, they probably would have left a lot earlier, to be fair. Mike Smalling, who's been a member for a long time, over 24 months. Thank you very much, Mike, for joining again. And Ricardo Garcia says, Ancelotti improved Everton. Give Pep an Everton, and I think he'll fail. Interesting. I mean, give Pep City without Rodri and he'll fail. We found that out this season. Let's hit the like button as well. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes before kick-off. Nearly 3,000 people watching, and we've only got 234 likes. So if you're watching, hit the like button for Ethan. 1 like equals...
1 prayer.
No, what do you mean? You're fine. You're not ill.
I don't know.
Right. Equals just 1 prayer for Ethan then, let's say it. Is Ethan really leaving? Yeah, he is, yeah. He actually is. Sorry, Jay, I know you're going to get annoyed at this. A lot of people are asking if Ethan's still going to be on Sloppy Joe's. Yeah, yes, he is, yeah.
Obviously.
Also, yeah, he is.
In this studio.
He is still going to be on Sloppy Joe's. Speaking of podcasts in the studio, obviously make sure you check out Sober Fellas as well.
You've done me here, you. Sitting there today.
If you
took away all my ammunition. I can't say shit.
All over he invited me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why that's why I've not invited you until Wednesday.
Yeah. Gordon, who is looking more and more like what's her name?
Not Deja Barlow.
No, Claire
Balding.
Yeah. He's looking more like Claire Balding by the week. I saw Claire Balding at Media City once.
Did you? Did you chat to her?
It was the same day that what's his name from Wham.
Andrew Ridgely.
Andrew Ridgely was in reception.
I'd love to see Andrew Ridgely.
And Claire Balding was in reception. Everyone's like, did you see Andrew Ridgely? I was like, no, but did you see Claire Balding's here? I love Claire Balding. Yeah. I absolutely love her. But
you love Claire Balding?
Don't you?
No.
Have you ever seen that picture of her smoking a cig?
No way does she smoke cigs.
No, but she looks great on it.
Crazy bastard.
Let me show you this picture. With the glove on. You tell me you don't love her.
She's mid as a kid, so.
No,
she's all right.
She's a really
I
good
love Claire Balding. Do you love Claire Balding?
No.
Do you not? All right, who do you love then? That's the feature. Who do you love?
Why have you got laggy about it?
I think Claire Balding is very, very good at what she does.
I think she's okay. I'm not got anything against her. I just don't particularly get excited if I saw it at Media City.
She's got a certain
je ne sais quoi.
Gravitas and je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, she's good at her job, but I just don't love her.
Really?
Sorry, Joe.
Well, who do you love then in the BBC punditry realm?
Let's move this question right along.
Yeah, let's not.
Fair enough. Right. We've got 15 minutes before kick-off. I do want to look a little bit ahead to the Lyon game because we've spoke about Onana already. But yeah, it is literally our season. So we've got Onana on the bench already. We've got Casemiro getting rested.
Well, Onana's not in the squad, is he?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Onana out of the team, out of the squad already. Casemiro on the bench being rested. We've got Mason Mount who's been sort of drip-fed back in, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Kobbie Mainoo came back in the other day. Are you expecting big changes for that game? Are you looking at this team today and thinking, right, if you're not playing today, you're probably playing for that one? Or do you think the likes of Mason Mount and Kobbie Mainoo are just being brought back in slowly because they're not ready yet? Do you think that we could see them start midweek is what I'm asking?
I think I was talking about this before, weren't we? And I think it depends on the player and their age and everything that goes with it. Like with Casemiro, I think he will start on Thursday. I'd be amazed if he doesn't. Yeah. I think the manager obviously has faith in him. He's been playing quite well. He brings something to the team that no one else does. I think he slots into that midfield against Lyon perfectly. So I expect him to start. I think that's why he's being rested, because he's in his 30s. Let's give him a breather. This game isn't that vital. And he doesn't need the momentum of playing every 4 days. It's probably going to be detrimental to him. So he's a different one. We mentioned Garnacho. I think Garnacho, the manager might still end up picking him on Thursday. It might be one of those where play your way out of this bad form, have a decent stint today, and if you do well, you're in on Thursday. Others with Mason Mount, Kobe Mainoo, I'm not so sure, because if it's up to me, I'd play Kobe Mainoo on Thursday because I love him.
How would you give me your sort of midfield and attack on Thursday? I think if you're the manager.
If Casemiro's coming in, which I think he would do, I probably think he'd move. I don't know. Bruno's been doing well deeper on it, so it is difficult. So is it maybe? I don't really want to drop Ugarte, so maybe you'd play Bruno further up with Kobe Mainoo if you've got Ugarte and Casemiro. I wouldn't play Rasmus Højlund, mate.
Okay.
I think Rasmus Højlund looks like a player who's just completely lost confidence. But that's me, and the manager might have different feelings around it altogether. He obviously rates Garnacho because he plays him all the time. There's, if I was to arrest anyone today, I'd have probably arrested Dalot. But I think he could, but he never gets arrested. No. But then he might look at it and go, well, I've got, Amas who can come in on the left, and Doug who's a left wing back. So even though he has played at the right, so that works better for me. So I don't know the manager's mindset. I'm just saying for me, I'd start Mainoo. Mason Mount, he's played a few minutes here and there. He's come on. He's looked all right. Is he in the manager's thinking? Everyone keeps saying, don't they? Mason Mount fits into this system. Is Thursday the time to test that? Yeah. The only sort of definite sort of one where you go 100%. That's going to happen is Bruno's going to start. That's going to happen. Dalot's going to start. Yeah. That's nailed on. Who else you got in there? I think the likes of Yoro is another one. He's obviously going to start.
I think Ugarte probably.
Probably.
Certainly.
Other than that, I mean, I'd expect Xerxes to start as well.
Mazraoui.
But there's like 5 or 6 positions there where you go, I don't know. I know what I'd do, but I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, the goalie, Amas, Lindelof, Eriksson, Garnacho probably. Yeah. But you're not sure. And Xerxes are all... That's 6. If they didn't start, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. That is a bit mad, isn't it? You were going to say something before, Scott?
I was going to say before when you were talking, Jay, about Garnacho being in favour with the manager. I think it's down to slim pickings with the injuries as to why he's being played. And the fact that Garnacho can play on the left and right, and we have been suffering on both wing-back positions, and that's why, or number 10, and that's why Garnacho's been getting so many games. Not because the manager's had faith in him. I think it's down to the lack of options at his disposal. I think today, if Garnacho doesn't have a great game, he doesn't start on Thursday. And I reckon about 70 minutes, we're probably going to see Mainoo and Mount come on with an eye, and if they can get 20 minutes under the belt, then I think that they'd start on Thursday. If you look at Thursday as being not our last game of the season, but it could be in terms of if we go out of that competition, it's worth a roll of the dice with them players. If it means Mount getting injured, but we could possibly go through, I'd take the risk. We've got nothing else to play for in the league. Yeah.
You're right, it might be slim pickings. I think there's certain traits the manager does like from Garnacho. He's a grafter, isn't he? He might be frustrating, but he non-stop running, and he carries the ball a lot. It's just that final third. That final third's been so frustrating, and I think the manager's spoken about that, and he's stuck up for him at times as well. But you can see that is an issue. You're getting a different type of player, aren't you, Mason Mount? You're getting a different type of player with Kobe Mainoo in there, and maybe you're right. Maybe this is like almost an audition. Like if Garnacho does well today, it's going to be hard to see him getting dropped for Thursday. But if he has another stinker after the game against Lyon was a bit of a stinker, if being brutally honest, does the manager keep him in?
The thing with Garnacho is he's the sort of player that is like there's been a lot of pushback in the last week or so around the state of football and football tactics and all that. And I think it's a conversation that a lot of people have had for more than the last week. But now Gary Neville said it, you're allowed to agree with it. When we used to talk about Pep's football being boring, you get called a hater and you get called jealous and all this sort of stuff. But then when Gary Neville does it, all of a sudden the whole footballing world goes, actually, football is a bit boring at the minute. We've known this for a decade that Pep plays boring as fuck football. A lot of City fans will tell you that it's boring, but you don't mind it being boring when you're winning everything.
Yeah.
And yet, you look at Garnacho and he's the sort of player that certainly isn't boring. He's and I'm not saying quality at all here, but he is the sort of player that when he gets the ball, you genuinely don't know what's going to happen. And those sorts of players are fantastic to watch. And when you've got like a world-class version of that, like a Vinicius Junior, for example, it's brilliant to have in your team. And when you look at Garnacho, you want him to evolve and to become productive and to be that kind of on your feet, out your chair kind of player. that excites you and that isn't just this formulaic one-touch forward, stop, stand on the ball, play it back to my fullback. He can be someone that does amazing sort of things. But at the moment, he's just unpredictable and unproductive. And you can't have both. You can be an exciting, talented player, but you have to do exciting, talented things with that. At the minute, he's erratic and up and down, but he isn't giving you that Vinicius Junior like, oh my God, did you see what he did yesterday? It's not Garnacho again. And that, at some point, that has to change one way or the other, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to. At some point, you have to fulfil the potential that people see in you. Like Vinicius Junior will have had a time in his career where he was Garnacho-like, where he was making mistakes and not following through, whether scoring goals or assists. It's just that because people are getting towards their end of the whip now with Garnacho because they're not seeing enough evidence that is this his ceiling? Yeah. Is it because he's more dynamic than the players around him? And he is, and he's very driven, and he's get your backside off the seat in Old Trafford because he runs with the ball. But you've got to be able to do more stuff than run with the ball. Yeah. And that's where the problem is.
Hello, Scotty. Is he the best that he's got available? Well, it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you've got a player that everyone agrees that the end product in there, he's got one goal in however many months, but he's your best option. What's that say about your recruitment over the last 18 months, 2 years? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, one of our top Premier League scorers plays for Aston Villa now, which says a lot, doesn't it? Because we didn't have a contingency plan there when that all went wrong. Rasmus Højlund, I know he might look tactical and he's a different type of player, but he's not scoring goals. I mean, Anthony plays for Betis. We spent 70 million quid on it. See, Jadon Sancho scored today, which is nice for Chelsea. He doesn't play for us. We've just wasted so much money. So you're in a position where you spent, what is it we spent on, even with players in Garnacho's position?
Yeah.
Like 200 million or something.
Yeah.
And yet we're still relying on this 20-year-old kid who might not be good enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I think the likes of Mainu and Mount have to think. At the minute, neither of them are nailed on starters, and I know they've been injured, but even when everyone's fit, we were experimenting with Mainu. Is he an 8? Is he a 10? Is he a 9 for that one game? And then he's been out. Obviously, Mason Mount has never fully cemented himself as a starter just because of the injuries. Both of them now have a chance to go into next season with a real advantage over those around them. But we need to see him stay fit, and we need to see that happen. Because like you said, Garnacho, whilst we all can see he's struggling, some people think he should go, some people think he can turn it around. No one can say for certain that someone else is better. And that, like you've just said, that is a real problem. Yeah. A lad in this kind of form should have a obvious improvement and an alternative in the squad.
I hate to fucking use him as an example because I can't stand him and the cheating bastards. But like City, someone has a bad bit of form there, and it might be Phil Foden or De Bruyne or Grealish, whatever, and Pep Guardiola will just take him out for 6 weeks or something. Yeah. They'll just rest him. Yeah. And that's a player that's either cost you 100 million quid, he's one of the best players you've ever had, or he's England's golden boy. And they'll just go, all right. Remember after the World Cup, it was like Foden was dropped for like a month and a half. And he said, oh, he's not. And then there's time when he rested De Bruyne for a bit. You think, like, a well-run team with a proper squad, you can do things like that. Well, we've not had that for so long now that it's just like, he's not great, but we've got to keep him in because we haven't got any other options.
If you're fit, you'll play.
Yeah. You saw it with Rashford when his form fell off a cliff. And it was like, he played every week anyway. Yeah. It's like, how are we still in this position now?
Where do you rate Garnacho alongside those that are competing for that position then? Because if you look when everyone is fit, like Mainu, because you've got Ahmad coming back in who can play that role, Mount.
Yeah, I think Ahmad is number one.
Yeah,
from what we've seen this season, it's hard to even rank Mount because I don't feel like we've ever seen Mason Mount for Man United. I know he's played like 30 or whatever games, appearances, minutes here and there. But from what I've seen of him in the past, Mount's number 2, or maybe really, he should be ahead of Ahmad. Like, he's had 10 goal, 10 assist seasons. Ahmad's never had that. I know he's been much better this season. He's never really had the chance to have that. But on paper, Mount should be easily taking that role. He cost 60 million quid. He's won a Champions League for Chelsea. He was one of their best players that season. He should be, that position should be his. But like you said, Jay, we've got Jadon Sancho, who, what has he had, 15 goal, 20 assist seasons for Borussia Dortmund, and he looks awful. So I would personally say Ahmad number 1, Mainu 2, and then Garnacho probably just ahead of Mount, but just because of the injuries. But it's an absolute shit show because, like I said, Mount should be number one. He's the big money. He's the one who's actually done it and won trophies in England and big trophies as well. None of the others have done that. So it's just a bit of a disaster, isn't it? What would you say?
Very similar, really. And I think there's more evidence of Garnacho's ability in a United shirt than there is any of the others. What is going to be interesting is when it comes to the summer is that we can sell Garnacho and make money to buy more players where we can't. Well, we could do with Mainu, but nobody wants to see Mainu go. I don't think if Garnacho was to leave in the summer, given his performances this season and our chance to get money and to buy other players, would it be a huge miss?
It's so sad.
Which is it's sad.
End of last season, the FA Cup final, it was so good that Garnacho and Mainu scoring and you had such hope. And this season, it almost couldn't go any worse. It can because fucking we could lose on Thursday, but they've just Mainu's been injured most of the season. Garnacho's probably had his worst spell in a United shirt, and we're already into our third manager of the season.
How much do you put Garnacho's form down to Amarin's changing system though?
Not much.
I don't put much. I think if you look at the space he operates as well, it's not like I've heard this argument. I know I'm in a minority. It's like it's a different system. It's different. Look at the spaces Garnacho plays in though. It's not that different than he was playing under tonight. He's not a winger. No. It's not Andrei Kanchelskis out on the touchline whipping in balls for everyone, is it? He's more or less off the striker-ish. So I don't think it's a million miles away from what he was being asked to do it previously. Yeah. I just think, and I'm not the first one to say it, and it won't happen, or it's certainly not happening now, I love Garnacho off the bench. And I think if Garnacho was coming off the bench, we wouldn't have an issue with it. Because he comes off the bench, he actually gets the crowd going a lot of the time, because he wants the ball all the time, he runs at defenders, and you can forgive him giving it away a little bit, because he's gets you going, and we saw it, we've seen it in the past. I always go on about it, but that game against City at Old Trafford where he just fucking destroyed him for 15 minutes. Off the bench is great. Sometimes you can start him, whatever, but what we've done is we've gone the other way around and just gone, he fucking starts all the time, and he's hardly ever coming off the bench.
You almost have to think that with him, at the minute you've got someone that, let's say he's worth somewhere between 40 and 60 million quid. Man United can't afford to have a 40 to 60 million pounds worth of profit on the bench. So he either has to be playing or has to be sold, just purely financially. I wonder if that's a position that the manager.
But you're in that position either way, aren't you? Because all right then.
But at least Mainu's on the bench.
Isn't Mainu 40 to 60 million quid? Mason Mount's on the bench then, but doesn't he cost us 55 million?
Yeah, but to make 60 million profit, only would have to sell him for 110 million, which is impossible.
What? Sorry.
To make.
So you say playing because you could sell him?
I'm saying if he was now dropped to the bench and he just became this kind of off the bench kind of player, I reckon you might get Ratcliffe kind of saying he's one of our biggest assets. I'm not saying I agree with it, and I don't want to look at football from a purely money angle, but I think we'd be costing ourselves money if he became this kind of bit part player now.
If you're doing that with Mount though, like he's on like 200 quid a week, and he's on the bench. So you might have Ratcliffe saying, why am I paying £1 million a month for someone who's sat on the bench?
Yeah, I get that. But I just think
same with someone like Rasmus Højlund.
The profit thing has become so important, which is a shame. But profit is like the thing, isn't it?
I just don't think you can run a team like that.
No, I don't think you should. But it does feel as though some of the transfers we've seen in the summer, some of the way that it's been reported about Mainu and Garnacho, unfortunately, it feels like that is one of the big ways.
If that was the case, you'd have to if you was having to play both of them with a view to keeping the profits up, regardless of form, I think you fought.
Yeah, and the thing is, but then it goes back to our previous point of, it's not obvious that the alternatives are any better. So if we're not just playing Garnacho for the money thing, but like when we say is Mount any better, not sure. Is who else have we even got on the bench? Is Xerxes playing there any better? Not sure. You might as well play Garnacho because at least he is capable.
I get that argument. I just think if you're saying you've got to play him because you want to sell him, that's when you're in trouble.
Well, I think it could all just be rolled into one, and
or if Ratcliffe's saying to the manager, you've got to pick him. Fucking hell.
Well, yeah, I hope that isn't happening.
Jesus Christ, that of course. Recipe for
just to chip in. Disaster. I was going to say this was a similar scenario for us, and it was really sad because we got rid of Elliot Anderson, who had a lot of potential. We had to get rid of him for PSR reasons. He's gone to Nottingham Forest and he's absolutely smashing it. His value is worth so much more now. We had Yakubu Minter, who we bought in from Denmark, I think it was. Loaned him out of Feyenoord, smashed it. We couldn't wait to get him involved, and we had to sell him to Brighton. It's a horrible position to be in, but like you say, with players like Kobbie Mainoo, their value could increase as the years go on. In 3 or 4 years' time, Mainoo might be worth even more. But I completely sympathise with him. And
also, the real shit situation is, if Man United have got, let's say United had a player worth 150 million quid, like Isak might be, 100 million plus.
Yeah.
We should want him playing for us. We shouldn't be like looking at him going, brilliant, we can sell him. I want United to have a player worth 100 million in every position, because it means they're world class.
Yeah.
And yet it's like, let's get him a bit more money so we can sell him. Well, no, that shouldn't be what we are. We're Man United. We should be trying to win the league and keep these players. Get your score predictions in the comments then. Let us know what you think is going to happen today. Bit of an odd one in it in terms of they're desperate to win this. United are just kind of staying fit for Thursday. How is this going to pan out? I'll start with you, Ethan, because you're the resident Newcastle fan. How do you see this one going?
Like I said, every time I play Man United, I don't really always expect to win, but we've got a good record recently. We're in decent form. I want to say 2-1 win, but I've got a feeling it might be a 1-1 draw for some reason. Just with the manager not being there, it might have knocked us a bit. You know what I mean?
So what are you saying? Give me a firm prediction.
I'll settle with 1-1 and be delighted with a win. I'll happily be
when you win.
wrong.
So you think you're going to win?
I'll say 1-1.
Jay, I'll go to you next. What are you thinking?
I hate being that guy. I just can't see United winning. I just can't. I'll predict a 1-1, but I don't think that. I think
what did you
we'll
say on
lose.
the preview?
I think I said we'd lose.
I think you said 3-0, didn't you?
Yeah, something like that.
Because I said 2-0 and you went, well, I'll have to be different and say 3-0.
Yeah.
But, so you're going 1-1?
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Bit more optimistic. Now, I'll get some comments and I'll get to Scotty as well. Because we've got loads of people.
He's Mr. Optimistic.
Well, I'll save Mr. Optimistic for last. Tron says 1-3 as we kick off.
Yes.
Ross Murphy says 2-2. Akash K 1-0 for Newcastle, I think. Sorry, everyone. Unfortunately. Slick Vic says 4-1 United. Joe, give us a kiss/wave. I'll give you a wave.
You might well get Scotty's prediction before Newcastle score.
Yeah, because he gets a free one. Scotty, score prediction.
I think United are going to win 1-0. I think all things considered against Leon, we were defensively sound. The goals came from mistakes, and I don't think our defence looks too much different aside from Harry Hamas. And the last time we played Newcastle, we had Casemiro and Eriksen in centre mid. So I'm going to be optimistic, Mr. Motti.
Don't act like I'm out of order saying
these first 40 seconds are worrying me.
I'm going to say Newcastle are going to win 1-0.
I was going to say.
I almost missed that account. Just we're going to win 1-0. I mean,
you almost just talked for long enough
for Newcastle to score. I mean, he's fucking miles off.
Yeah, I'm going United 1-0.
Yeah, he's miles off. 1-0 United. I'm going to stick with my preview prediction of 2-0 to Newcastle. Dan C says 1-0. A lot of people saying offside. Yeah, nervous now. Yeah, for the first 40 seconds or anything to go by.
That was the only time that Newcastle game at Stretford where I thought Amarin was very naive. Very naive.
That was his biggest mistake.
Yeah, that's the first one where I went,
it's a mistake
what the
he's
fuck?
never repeated.
Yeah, like,
which was what?
Well, it was an obvious mistake though.
It was like Eriksen, Casemiro in midfield, wasn't it? And then I felt a bit sorry for Eriksen in a way. He's having a bit of a thing, but he got all the blame and the boos and everything. But I mean, I genuinely, when we saw whoever it was coming on, thought it was going to be Eriksen or Casemiro was coming off.
Was
it Mainoo? Right, I can't remember, but we were all thinking, it would be Eriksen and Casemiro, and I think any of them would have got booed, to be honest. Not justifying that, by the way, but that was the mood.
RD Red Devil says, I looked up Isak, Joe, and you're right, my bad. No problem at all. I've said plenty of stuff and I looked up and I was wrong.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone,
it's
you know,
nice
you
that.
can have a disagreement.
Very rarely.
I got that one wrong.
See that again on this channel. What's going on? It's gone at the dog since you've come back. People being nice to each other.
Oh, this is from Calvin Kareem there. Super chat.
Jay, this is a super chat. You got to read it out.
There you go. Very nice.
That is the best thing that's ever happened to YouTube.
Akash K says, Jay, spot on our squad building. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all to ensure young players thrive here.
There we go.
We're going to do the exact same to Kobbie too.
I hate it, honestly. It's not. It's alright.
Safe, but
exactly
scrappy. It'd be good if we won this, wouldn't it?
I'm glad fucking Anthony Gordon's not starting today.
How come?
Because he caused us a fucking nightmare at Old Trafford.
Why is he not like he's been on the bench for about 3 weeks. How come he's not starting again yet, Ethan?
He had a big bruise when playing for England. He fell down and it bruised up. Not very good.
Big bruise.
Yeah, a big horrible.
That's some real Victorian injury analysis.
It's a big bruise.
He can't play because of a bruised mind. You're like, what? It's a bit sad. Yeah.
Aye.
A big bruise.
That's pathetic.
That's like how they would describe ailments in like the Bible or something, isn't it? A real pre-science approach to injuries.
How long did he know him out for? Is that the radius of the bruise?
Yeah.
It's got medium 1 to 2 weeks.
Big bruise. What's up, bad
Little bruise.
What's going on here? Yeah. Feeble mind.
Fuck off.
No. Oh, who's that got?
Murphy.
Oh, I hate him. I honestly hate Jacob Murphy. Because he's one of these fucking players that shit for 90% of the season, then he'll get 8 goals in 6 games. And it's always while we're playing these teams. We proper love playing against like Antonio's another one for West Ham. He's shit always. And then he'll get 6 goals in 5 games and one of them will be against us. Can't be arsed with it. These players who are just crap and then they're good for a tiny fraction of the season when we play them. Anyway, decent effort from Jacob Murphy. Sorry. Do you know what I mean though? Just absolute. They're not like, they don't get a goal every 6 games. They get 8 goals in 6 games and then nothing for the rest of the year. Piss off.
This is where Ethan will say he's class, Jacob Murphy.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
No, he's fine.
He's class.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's better than that.
Do you know my overriding memory of him? Who was that player who got sent off at Palace when he was like that?
Yeah. I can't remember who the player was. Yeah. Was it Celtic Cast?
I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I well wanted to.
Good run up the wing there.
Honestly.
Good on ball.
Oh, on ball, that was it.
Never.
He did well there, I must though, because he actually played like a wing back rather than a full back, and was keen to get forward beyond the man.
Not a bad start this for United.
There you go, you see.
After those first 40 seconds.
It's a ball.
Now what? There we go. Nice.
Who was that?
Decent little ball.
What did you make of his performance against Leon? He was getting a bit of criticism on.
You got it.
Yeah.
I'm mildly not concerned. No, I think his game against City and Leon was not his best games. I like you guy, but I think he's been better.
Yeah, I think he's been all right. I think he's.
That's fucking grim reading.
It's like he's a what was it?
Was it 1-6 out of whatever game? Fucking hell.
Shit. We haven't won it. We haven't.
It's a good job. It's all about the Europa.
We haven't won in a month. I was on holiday for 3 weeks. I've come back and I've been back for nearly a week, and we haven't won in that whole time. Admittedly, some of it was an international break, but it's not great, is it?
No. It's weird. It's weird. You're not used to seeing us those kind of statistics. It's mad.
Because who was it the other day? A couple of weeks ago, I was watching Brentford and they won. And they said it's like the first time they've won back-to-back away games all season or something. And I think of Brentford as a team that wins quite a lot.
Yeah.
And yet,
I'll say that with you, lad. You'll need it.
That 6 wins in 20 is just horrific, isn't it?
That's bad.
Absolutely awful. But yeah, I think Ugarte's been all right. I think Ugarte... Everyone's talking about how Casemiro's been a lot better recently. Part of that is because he has to do less work. And because of that, Ugarte has to do more work. I think that's going under the radar a little bit. Casemiro just gets to sit back and chip balls about because he can't run.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, Ugarte, you've got to do everything else. And when he can't, because no one can, people are having a go at him. But
did you settle on her? Did you have a Ugarte chant in the end?
Yeah, like you gotta be strong.
You gotta be strong. You gotta be bad. Yeah. I love that.
Didn't really take off. In
well, we'll try it again on Thursday.
Alright, cool.
Let's not give up.
United win today and Josh Zirkzee scores. Does he keep a place for Thursday night? But does he do it anyway?
Unless he has an absolute horror show today. I just think with Rasmus Højlund is, I do like Højlund. He might have a decent future at United, but he's got zero confidence at the minute. And I was hoping Leicester would be the catalyst for him to turn it around. He then scored for Denmark. You think good, bit of momentum, bit of confidence. Let's get him going, and then he just looks lost again. And it's not just the service, which is terrible, by the way, but even when he's got the ball, I mean, there was a time, was it on Thursday night, I think he had a shot that was just woeful, and sometimes his touch lets him down. And I was watching when you watch other strikers and you see like the best strikers will take one touch, get out of feet and get the shot off. When a striker's nervous or locking up, he'll take 4 or 5 touches sometimes.
He's thinking about what he's going to do rather than his sort of natural.
And I see that in him, and I think he just looks like someone who's just not got that belief at the minute, and that's why.
Good pressing.
Xerxes might not even be better, but Xerxes thinks he's the dog's bollocks.
Speaking of,
here we go. Xerxes back post.
Absolute shocker of a cross. Well, don't appeal for it. Play on.
Mate.
Ball's bouncing around in the box, and he's trying to ask for a penalty.
He's not going to get a penalty there anyway.
That was good pressing though there from United.
Did really. That's not decent, hasn't
it? They penned Newcastle into their half.
Your
won the ball back
prediction's looking good, Scotty.
Right, but you were saying that Hoyland might have a good future.
Yeah, he might.
But when you were talking about Garnacho earlier on, I'd say there's more evidence that Garnacho's got a higher ceiling with what he's demonstrated on the football pitch. But Hoyland, his first and foremost job is to score goals. What do you base on that he should have a future in Man United?
No, he said he could have a bright future. I'm not giving up on him yet. I mean, I think Garnacho definitely have a future.
What about Hoyland though? I mean, see, I'd get rid.
Right, he could. I'm not completely giving up on him yet, and I think he might be one of those players who's having a bit of second season syndrome and he's just struggling, and for whatever reason it's not quite happening, because we did see a lot of positive signs last season. You can't ignore 16 goals in all competitions. I know he did have a barren spell, but that's not a bad return for a debut season at United as a young striker. I'm still a bit like that with Hoyland. I've not given up on him yet. You think he's...
I just think he's 22 now, and I just think that there are strikers around the continent that are his age or younger that are scoring and creating chances themselves if they're not getting it in the box.
What do you reckon, Joe?
Joe, you're a nice man.
You're usually the kinder one.
The more time that goes on, you obviously got to think it's not likely he's going to become a world-class striker, is it?
No.
Because you can't just have no goals. So it obviously
that's a fair comment.
I don't think that
you can't just have no goals.
You know what I mean? You can't.
Yeah, you gotta have some.
I don't think though that last season was this unique season where he'll never get 16 goals again. I think he could have got a lot more than 16 last season.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't mean like he should have got more. I mean, if we'd have given him the ball more last season,
he went like 15 games or something without a goal.
Yeah, but that's stupid. But I think for a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old, that's to be expected.
No, I mean during that spell he could have scored.
So exactly.
Like it wasn't like in that spell he was completely fucking abysmal.
Yeah.
We were all sat here going, "There's a player there. He just needs better service." And then once he scored in the Champions League, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like almost every game, and then he got going in the league. So go on, Alton. That's the one, lad.
Man. But
that's one of them there, isn't it? Like, you know, if you're a defender, you're just complimenting everything he does.
Yeah.
Great catch.
Well done, lad.
Well done, son.
It was pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Maybe could have called for it a bit better so that he didn't have to smash into Lenny Euro. Nice. But yeah, I think top players or players that go on to be top players, it's rare that they have like 18 months like Hoyland's having.
No.
Because it's not like he's on like 11 goals. What's he got? Like 7 goals this season.
It was quite telling last season, wasn't it, when he didn't... I know I go on about this all the time, forgive me. But he didn't start the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
I think the manager who's like, rather play no striker.
Oh, what a move. What a move.
Xerxes there from about 10 yards out. Great little move.
That was like Cole and York.
It was, wasn't it? Probably better. Nick Pope would have said.
It's a great move, this.
Can I have Bruno? Oh,
what a lovely move.
Stop that.
Probably should have took a touch.
Mate.
One-touch football, that was a great...
That reminded me of Veron. Do you remember when Veron did that? Again, was it Ipswich?
That was class.
That was mint, that.
Really good.
See, Xerxes would be great if we were winning every week. He's fucking good, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's good to watch.
Insert him into a successful team.
Yeah, he'd be mint.
But realistically,
we
should have scored there. Ooh. Okay.
Hoyland's
got 3 Premier League goals this season. He's got 8 in all competitions, but 5 of them in the...
He's got, right, I know it's arbitrary.
26 in the league just isn't enough.
He could really do with another couple of goals, couldn't he? Just get to fucking at least double figures in all comps. Jesus Christ.
And if he could get another 30 between now and the end of the season, we've got a real player.
That'd be alright, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he needs a loan out or something. But then we've got to sign 2 strikers. Because we can't just have the next striker, Liam Delap or whoever, just stood up front by himself.
No. That's the thing, innit? We actually do need 2 strikers. That's a fucking madness.
Oh well, we'll be right. That's a good
It's
run.
like what you were saying, Joe, about playing Garnacho and his value and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Is the sum of the time if you're going to cash in on Hoyland the time to do it?
Yeah,
because
maybe.
if he has another season like he's having,
do
you know what I mean? Like then is he? I don't know. I'm not saying that would get rid of him necessarily, but
what's he worth now? Do you think Højlund?
I reckon Højlund. If you sell him, I reckon you get 40 million quid for him.
Do you? Who's buying that? Who's paying that?
Right,
I don't need an exact team, but what type of team do you think?
I think someone in Italy. He's been linked with moves to Italy, hasn't he?
Juve was the link, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
get I'm not
Napoli
going to.
I mean, I know it's a different type of player, but you could get decent money from Italy where he had played well in Serie A. He's still highly regarded there. I think, and he's still relatively young for a striker. He's 22. He's not past it.
Swap deal with Vlahovic.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him either, to be honest.
I think he's gone off a bit. I don't know. Swap deals are so hard, aren't they? I think I think was it Laurie who was saying, or Nathan Salty might have been saying, that if you want a swap deal, sounds insane, but the best way to do it is you just literally sell them the player that you want to get rid of and buy the other one, rather than doing it as a swap.
Because then you can do it on PSR as well.
Yeah. And it's like,
but there could be something like, would Atalanta have him back for 20 million less than they sold him for? That's a question. Maybe they would.
But they probably look. We might be leaving as well in the summer, so they may be looking.
Yeah.
Because what was it, 60 odd million we've spent on him? Would they have him back for 40? Maybe. Keeper. Oh, that's a good ball.
Fuck off.
Look at that. Oof. First 15 minutes, Jay. Thoughts?
Better than I thought. Not to be negative, but I think United have been all right. Obviously had that one move and that good save from Nick Pope. Newcastle had the goal that was well offside, so it's not like they've been all over us. So yeah, I think we've started quite well. I've been impressed with. He's not had loads of ball. He looks all right. Looks tidy, Ari Hamas.
Yeah.
Decent debut so far.
Yeah. What do you think of the start?
Yeah, it's good, man. Really high tempo, lovely one-touch football. The move between Xerxes and Fernandez. Eriksen's looked sharp on the ball. Like I said against Lyon, we looked like they were a better team, and United seemed to be in. What do I get? 3 points today?
Yep. I think we've been all right. Just again, though, innit? You get the ball in the box and. Maybe we should do a bit better, but I think it was a decent shot from Xerxes. Just slightly too close to the keeper, wasn't it? It was
a save that looks good, but actually you think you should be saving that.
It, really.
You can't be letting that one in.
It's a Hollywood save, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. So many saves are Hollywood saves now, aren't there? Like you know, back in the day when goalkeepers used to catch the ball, it's like now everyone wants to just lever it out and punch it and all that. Delo's fell over. He's lost the ball there, but
Ugarte, well done.
Ugarte.
Has he got a foul? What for
oh mate, Ugarte's got a booking there. I thought he got a ball. Like
a booking for that? I think I actually, from his reaction, I think it might have been a booking. You need to see it from the other angle. You can't tell there. I think he gets some of the ball there, doesn't he?
I thought it was a tackle when I first saw it. I mean, it all came from Delo falling over. Then I realised it was just unlucky.
Slightly card happy there, I think, the ref. Because the ball definitely took a deflection, I think, off Ugarte. Maybe it was a foul still, but it's a bit harsh, that. What have you made the first 15 minutes, Ethan, as a Newcastle fan?
I think Xerxes should have scored that, Joe. I think you were quite not too harsh on him. I think you should just, if you put it low and not in the keeper's vicinity, it would have been all right. I think we've not really pressed at our usual kind of high intensity. We've been high, but we've not been running at you, forcing you to too many errors. There's been, Yoro obviously had that incident where he chested it and misplaced it. Dallo slipped there, but they're kind of unforced errors, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel if we can press you a little bit more, we can create a few more chances. But I think you've been quite good so far, Man United. Yeah.
That's not great, though.
Fucking hell.
I do actually agree. The Newcastle haven't had quite that like swarming horror show to play against that they do sometimes. When you play them, you just think, well, you can't do anything here. Like last season here,
that was horrible. That one
just absolutely pummeled us, didn't they? So far, it's not been quite that level. Or even the game at Old Trafford this season. Did you see that our last goal that we scored at St James's Park? Do you know when it was?
Eric Cantona?
Not quite.
I'm trying to think of the last time we fucking scored at St James's. Who?
Sanchez.
It was Cavani.
Fucking
2021. That's bad, isn't it?
I did a fan cam that game outside St James's.
Wow.
With you lot.
Yeah.
There you go. We're doing that again.
No. Are you going to come back, Eve, for the Newcastle watch-alongs?
Yeah, if you'll have me.
Yeah, of course we will.
Well, that's lovely. It's a done deal.
Yeah, good lad.
Deal. Sorted. Bindeer so far. Eyes on him. What have you made of him?
Brilliant.
Brilliant. In comparison,
he's kind of he's kind of done what you knew he'd do. Like he's caught a couple of high balls and then hit one to Harry Amas that's gone out for a.
His passing has been a little bit.
You do notice the drop off from. I know people like to now say that Onana's shit with the ball at his feet as well because nothing he can do is right.
Yeah.
But he is decent with his feet compared to these two. Pope at one end. Bindeer at the other end. Onana's definitely better with the ball at his feet than them, but Bindeer, he's big. He's got a stature about him. Bindeer, I feel like. Was he 6'6"?
Make any fucking glaring mistakes, man. That's all we need.
That's all that matters.
You do worry with Onana how that sort of translates to you back free and the confidence of the rest of the team. You know, you make that many mistakes.
Oh yeah.
If you're Xerxes and you've scored that win, I'd be fuming.
I was saying this to Joe before, like. Just not quite there.
If that was to a fast player, that'd be such an unbelievable pass.
Unreal, wouldn't it? Xerxes would have a little through ball for Ericsson that was just a little bit too quick for him
as well. Sorry about that.
We were saying that before about confidence in the Bruno. Sorry, looked fuming at the end of the Lyon game, like fucking well pissed off. You think the great cross for Xerxes gets a goal, and you think, yeah, happy days. Oh, look at that.
Oh, fucking studs! Why is everyone slipping over on this side? Garnacho and Dallo have both done it. Should have got the ball there. Dallo cost Ugarte a yellow card by slipping over. Fucking annoying. Sorry for screaming.
No, you're right. It is frustrating. Well done, Harry Amas.
I forgot until you said earlier. Obviously, I knew he was young. But when you said he literally turned 18 about 2 weeks.
I knew because it was 17 for ages, and that was the reason people say, "Oh, he didn't want to throw a 17-year-old defender in."
Yeah.
And then he turned 18 recently.
Around a year.
Yeah. What really?
Yeah.
Fucking typical Glazers shite, that, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. He's 17 for literally ages. But I in my head I thought he must be like 19 by now. But he's literally turned 18 2 weeks ago. He's very young in age. But has he been playing as much for the under 18s?
Well, didn't he make his debut for Watford when he was like 15 or whatever it was?
Really?
Was it something like? I mean, I might be getting that completely wrong, but I think
was it? No,
was it?
Was it Watford?
I'll have a look.
I'm thinking Niven. What's the midfielder? He was at Brighton before, and
yeah, Watford. Collier, I don't know if he's played for Watford though.
I thought he.
Wikipedia doesn't think
he might have played for the under 18s when he was 15 or something.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He did something when he was 15 that was like unbelievable. So he was on the bench. Sorry, for the first team, I think, when he was 15 as well. So there was he was already highly thought of.
He was included in a first team squad at the age of 15.
There you go. I got there in the end.
Yeah, he didn't feature, but he was on the bench as a 15-year-old, which is.
Yeah, because I think Watford did all they could to keep him.
Yeah, stick him on the bench.
When he's when he's still at school and that. Don't worry about that, kid. You're going to be a bright star for us. And he was like, yeah, you're all right.
What bench were you on at 15?
Me.
Prosecution.
Nice, really good. Strong that. Park bench drinking cider.
What's insider?
What?
Huh?
Drinking.
Oh.
White Lightning.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
What did you do in work? So I bet you had some reet ciders up your way, didn't you?
Some great benches our end.
Hey.
Yeah, White Lightning was a good one. It's not really.
You like a Scrumpy Jack type of guy.
We're not
fucking old English or
Cornwall.
Hey, do you know what I mean?
11 and stole a tractor.
Right.
Chewing straw.
Do you know what I mean? Hey,
do you know
having cow races and that.
People always talk about Londoners as being closed off to the country. I think there's an argument that the Manx might be the same, you know. Yeah. Because people from the Midlands just race tractors and fight with cows and drink cider. That's what you do in workshop, yeah.
Anyone outside the M6 then?
Yeah, it's not just workshop.
Yeah, sorry.
It's anywhere.
He's offside there, just, I think.
Bindeer had it covered.
What was the side? They used to be get the big 3 litre.
Yeah, that's the one.
And sit on Valley Park it was usually Valley Park. That was a good one. Or at Gareth's house.
Oh really? Yeah. My best mate is still called Gareth, but I used to go out of his house and drink cider.
Is it the same one as mine?
No, I don't think so. I didn't see you there.
Although I was younger, so maybe it was a bit
Oh
later.
yeah, that's a good point actually. That'd have been a bit weird though. How old are you? You're like 15 years younger than us.
Yeah, but my Gaz was a good lad. He took us under his wing. Come on, lads. Fucking hell.
No, that's not the one either.
It's obvious that was too close and squashed in there. They needed to play it out. That's a good pass.
Well.
He's got lucky there.
Good goal, that, to be fair. Fucking knobheads.
I think it is. Yeah. Isak doing his best, like, slight Oddie and Igalo kind of, did he mean to control it? Was he a bit lucky?
Yeah.
But the pass was undeniably excellent from
I wonder whether Yoro should have kept his eye on Tenali's run, though.
That's annoying. 1-0 Newcastle.
Fuck's sake.
That's annoying, that. Just not really done anything, have they? And then just a bit of quality from two very good players. And you could tell United were fucking about with it too much in the middle here.
Yeah, Lindelof and your guy, two successive bad passes.
Lindelof puts Eriksen in a bad spot. Then Eriksen puts Ugarte in one. And Isaac, his first touch is slightly poor, but the second one makes up for it. I don't think he means to knock it up in the air like that, does he? That touch.
No, Yoro
But
ball
that pass is brilliant. Yeah. Lindelof's nowhere near him, is he? And Yoro gets ran off. It's a very good finish. You can't blame the keeper for that.
No. Fucking annoying.
It is annoying. Thoughts, Ethan?
Well, I think I'm happier with that than you, Joe. It was a really good.
I'd have thought so, yeah.
Yeah. The finish from Tonali was excellent, wasn't it? He nearly took the net off, I think.
Because you're not very good at putting the nets on in Newcastle, is that why?
Yeah, and it was really hard, I think, as well,
right,
Joe.
yeah.
But the net securing as well might have been an issue.
Yeah.
But I'm relieved because I thought it was a very even game so far, and I was getting a little bit like, oh, I want to get someone early, and we have. There you go.
Do you know this is? And again, I'm not to try and break every tiny action down and extrapolate it to the whole season, but we have half chances and we miss them, or we put them too close to the keeper. They make a good chance or a half chance or whatever and score it, and that sort of sums up the season for us, doesn't it? We just aren't very good at scoring goals. Overall, our attackers aren't good enough. I know we've not had a chance as good as that and missed it, but like the Xerxes, when you think if that's a better striker, if that's a real good number 9, he might just drill that into the bottom corner, and instead, once again, it's not just this game, we haven't scored and the opposition have scored when they made their small amount of chances.
Well, there's only really Fernandes, isn't there, who's the goal scorer from open play at United and from set pieces. But you can go back under Ten Hag, the amount of times he said we need to be more clinical in front of goal. It's long-standing been an issue that United haven't got a decent goal scorer in the squad. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Was it 50-odd goals we scored? I think 56, 57 goals we scored under Ten Hag in his 2 full seasons.
Fucking hell.
And, you know, at the time, we talked about how that wasn't good enough. And this year we've scored 37. And we're probably going to end on around 40, 43, 44 goals.
Annoying.
It's absolutely absurd, actually, how few we've scored. Tottenham, who are a place below us in the league, we've scored 37 goals. They've scored 60. And they're behind us. Obviously, you concede that many goals.
Wow, they scored 23 goals.
They've scored 23 goals more than us, and they've only conceded 7.
I mean, we are terrible in front of goal. There's no justifying it or explaining it. That is weird from Spurs, though, to be where they are with those amount of goals.
You were
talking about this the other day.
It's absolutely crazy.
That's unheard of, almost.
Yeah, to score 60 goals and only get 37 points is mad. But even if you look at the teams,
talent, man.
Yeah, it is. It's stupid. They should be challenging for top 4. But even look at like Crystal Palace have scored more than us this season. Brentford, Brighton. West Ham, who haven't, like, their striker literally has been injured all season, or one of their main strikers, Antonio, have only scored 1 goal fewer than us this season. Even Ipswich, they're going to get relegated and they've scored 4 less than us. Like,
there's another stat, Joe.
Go on.
You've had 12 blanks this season in the Premier League, and I think only 2 of the teams have had more. I want to say those teams are Ipswich and Leicester, but yeah, you've got the 3rd most blanks.
As in games where we've not scored. It's clearly a problem, isn't it? United just haven't got very good attackers. Here's Tonali again. Oh, I thought that was in.
Bandier had it covered.
I thought that was in then. Bloody hell.
Fucking hell.
This is what happens then. Look, everyone stood still. We've got 5 fucking defenders playing and everyone just watches him have a shot. It's got to be better than that. You can't have him free shot, 25 yards out. Everyone just stood on the 18-yard line with their hands behind the back. We literally just conceded a goal to him and we're going to let him shoot for free. Come on. Win that one then at least. Good.
Oh, come on.
Bad. Yeah, this is the worry, innit? We start off well and then we eventually give them a bit of momentum, and can we get back into it now? Because you could easily see them scoring again, couldn't you? Keep the ball for a bit. Oh! Sorry. Newcastle have dropped more points from... less have dropped the fewest number of points from winning positions this season.
Right, okay.
So, odds are...
This is like I was saying to you when I went to the game at Old Trafford and I got there late, and as I got there, Isaac scored.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go home.
Because you knew we weren't going to get
Yeah,
back
I just
into
thought, I can't be arsed with this. Obviously I didn't, but...
That's a bad ball. Yeah, it could be tough this now, couldn't it? Good block because he was in there. Need to keep the ball for a minute.
Ooh,
You could see he's in his way there.
Putting players under pressure constantly. Keep playing the ball back into dangerous areas all the time.
Do you think Cameron knows his strongest 11? The squad that he's got at the moment?
No, I don't think
you still
so.
think he's like tinkering around? We can't
I
be
just
going into
think-
next season.
I know, but I think it's the injuries as well, isn't it? Like, Ahmad's probably...
That's what I mean.
yeah,
So not
and then
that's available.
There's Mount and Mainu, and there's so many players that have been out. I mean, Martinez as well.
Yeah.
You've got Martinez, you've got...
Like when everyone's fit.
That's what I mean, yeah.
So when you bring Martinez back in, does that then limit the need for Casemiro's ball playing ability in the middle?
Yeah.
Like, that's a question that would need to be answered. Do you, at the minute, Casemiro's starting every week and he's playing well.
Yeah.
But do we need him to be starting every week if you've got better ball players at the back? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of questions in there that we can only find out.
Oh, yeah, Zirks. Oh, God.
And everyone's just
stretching and not making it.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can go into next season having this sort of element of question marks over certain players or what our strongest starting 11 is.
Yeah.
I think that's been what the Gracies had this season with the injuries.
But if Mainu and Mount are injured almost all the time, one of them's been injured, haven't they?
Yeah.
How can he now? You know, Martinez is going to be out for the rest of the season. You can't play him with anyone else at the minute. Ahmad again, how does he play with Xerxes compared to Hoyland? We don't really know. Like, a lot of these questions would have to remain unanswered, really.
But would you not do it through a process of elimination by what you do know?
I guess so, yeah.
And say Hoyland can't score goals. We won't have.
And I'm sure he will have an 11 in his head that he thinks when everyone's fit, this is who plays.
Yeah.
But those things can change all the time, can't they? Because, you know, we didn't think that at first. I think he thought Ahmad was a wing back, and then he thought Mainu was a number 8.
A lot depends on who steps in whilst Martinez is away. Because Martinez starts, doesn't he, usually if he's fit.
Yeah.
But then if Aidan Evans say he comes in next week and smashes it towards the end of the season, does the manager prefer him? Amad Diallo starts when he's back. So who drops out there? What's going to happen with Mason Mount? It's just like...
What, Martinez returns, or you don't know if they are?
That's what I mean. You don't. That's my exact point. You don't, like, you might play Aidan Heaven who smashes it. Martinez was smashing it before he went, but he's been injured, so it's like, okay, well, who do I go with? But then, like you're saying, Joe, do you have to think of Martinez more than just about that because of the other attributes he's got?
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Pre-season's massive, but even in pre-season, he might not even have everyone fit. And also, we're going to make some signings. We've got to, haven't we? Fucking hell.
And also, a lot of teams, they don't rely on injury-prone players, do they?
No.
You have to, at some point, cut away people who aren't fit. Like, the top teams, I know obviously City, so there'll be a handful of players, like City would rely on Vincent Kompany a lot, and he was injury-prone for a lot of his career at City. But generally speaking, your main players cannot be injury-prone players. So you almost have to like say, we're not going to have you if you're going to be injury prone, no matter how good you are. Because if you're not fit and you're not playing in the big games...
get lost. Good save.
Good save there, Bayindir. Get rid of it!
That's a good save.
Fucking hell.
Very good save there. He missed the first one, didn't he? He dived out for the first one and didn't get anywhere near it. I'd like to see that back again, see if that was his mistake or whether it was just a good cross. But he went for the first one. Then he ends up getting the second one. It was absolutely fantastic. But I'd like to see a little replay of that. Again, though, was it Isak in the box? Just completely unmarked as he is again. Yeah, he's going around the keeper. No, too wide. Fucking hell, it's just become an absolute shit show, this, hasn't it?
As much as I wanted Bayindir to fill me with confidence, there's been several things in terms of like a distribution, and he's running around a little bit cagey.
Yeah. I need to see this one again. So it's an overlap. I think it's Livramento. Oh no, Bayindir just palmed it out.
That's the typical Onana move, wasn't it? Really, just palming it into the danger zone.
Yeah, it's not done well there, but
he
makes up for it.
It's a great save, yeah. Fucking hell.
But it's not been the commanding performance you'd want. But
not really. But I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on him.
Ball back in for Newcastle. Burn. Oh my God.
He's fucking not being helped here anyway.
Roof of the net.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's been all Newcastle since the goal, hasn't it? Can't really get the ball out of our box, let alone looking dangerous. Just lands on the roof of the net there from Dan Burn.
Not done anything since the Xerxes shot, have we?
No. Nothing. Amrim's aged. Oh, don't know.
Just put him on.
Brian Kevill says, I don't rate any keeper in the league. In any keeper in any league. Amazing. The 90s/early 2000s was the greatest era for goalkeepers. Big Pete, Toldo, Buffon, Frey, Van der Sar, Rossi, Cech, Seaman. The thing is, though, we're basically in the first generation of keepers where you have to be great with your feet. Football 15 years ago, the best keeper in the world could not have the ball at their feet ever and be considered the best keeper in the world. Now is the first generation where you have to be a great shot stopper and basically a midfielder on the ball. And I think that we're adjusting to that as a game where there are more mistakes now than there used to be because keepers are getting 3 and 4 times the touches than they used to. So it's not going to be the same. You can't. Peter Schmeichel obviously could kick the ball long and had a great throw and those sorts of things, but he's not the ball player that Edison is.
No.
And he wouldn't be expected to be. But
see Edison yesterday, was it for McAtee's goal?
Yeah, he got an assist.
He's got 3 assists this season. It's like, fuck off.
He's got more than Odegaard this season. But that's what I mean.
I tell you what, though, when you might not be able to assist with his feet, Schmeichel, but them throws, the amount of attacks that Schmeichel
of course, and it's not that keepers would just stand on the line and pass it out like, go on,
Garnacho.
Yes!
Yes! There it is!
I don't even know how that went
in. There's the boy.
I thought he should have gone to Xerxes as well with the pass.
Yeah. I thought he'd hit that with his right
foot.
I think he hit it with his left. And he's put it right in the corner. It's a great finish, that proper smash and grab of a goal there. We've barely had the ball since their goal, and then all of a sudden up the other end, brilliant goal from Garnacho. Good lad.
Is this the low?
No, Ugarte does really well. Wins it back, lays it off to Dallo. And good driving run from Dallo. Is he onside?
Yeah,
I think he probably is.
Onside.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lovely
That's not an easy finish at all.
It's a great finish.
2 defenders around him.
I was expecting him to drill it with his right foot, but instead he just passes it into the corner. That's a great finish, that, Who does that remind me of?
Owen.
The toe poke?
Yeah, I think he does,
Does he?
Oh, no, he doesn't.
I was composed.
Yeah.
It's a really good finish.
It's mature pass with mature finish.
The corner's open. I'm just going to pass it into the corner. I think. Why don't you do that more often?
On Thursday.
Genuinely, he's starting on Thursday.
Yeah,
now.
I can't believe you said
anyway,
to sell him.
I know. I can't believe I did a video saying get rid of him last week.
I think you should go live to Ethan.
Fuck you, though.
Ethan,
you got out to save yourself.
I'm just really struggling with that TV on the set today. Do you see it keeps flickering?
Yeah, stop talking about that. What about the fact that Newcastle have just conceded to the mighty Manchester United?
Stop waiting for you to get another goal before you answer.
Yeah. Wait longer.
Keep going here now. We'll score in a minute.
Oh, it was a good goal on the counter. It's a shame because I felt after the goal it was kind of all right. Let's get a second now, but then it's game on now. It was a good counter attack. There was no one really near the middle, and then the ball to Garnacho came across, and Byrne couldn't get across on time. And yeah, it was a good counter attack. In all fairness. Ooh.
Oh bloody hell, behind there!
Bloody hell.
Callum Ridings says, I just don't rate Ugarte, lads. Doesn't progress the ball, not good enough in tight areas, and I think out of possession qualities are overrated, personally. I thought he did well for that goal.
Yeah.
Did well to win it back, didn't he? Good run from Delo as well.
Hold on. Ugarte there, wasn't it?
I think in terms of ability on the ball, it's not world class, but like the sort of aggression that he has in winning the ball back and that steal, we've missed that in midfield. Casemiro hasn't got the legs to do it.
No, I agree with you. Matthew Lovett says, coming up from the IOW for the games against Lyon and Wolves, want to stay optimistic but highly expecting 2 losses and a long depressed trip home. What's the IOW?
Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight, that's it. Have you been there? It's because the O was capitalised, which is what I think maybe if it had been lowercase, I might have known it was an Alf.
No, I've seen it
from a distance.
Yeah.
Is that the island near Southampton?
It's in France.
Right.
Yeah, it's south coast.
Yeah, there's one near Southampton that everyone goes to. I didn't know it was the Isle of Wight.
Well, the Isle of Man's over there, isn't it?
Right, okay.
Yeah, Isle of Man's between.
Oh yeah, because Granada cover it, don't they? And news.
They've got their own currency on the Isle of Man.
Have they?
Have they?
Do you know what it is?
Man dollars.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Nelson Man dollars.
Mandems, they call it.
Nelson Man dollars.
Oh.
That's a long way to go much United.
Yeah. I mean,
a boat and a bus.
I admire people that because
you can't be asked going for
I've got a tram journey sometimes. I fucking myself.
Are you mad? The Metro Link?
Oh, do we have to?
20 minutes.
Hey, fucking hell. Well, actually getting boats and trains and all sorts of buses.
Could be flying.
Or flying even.
Probably only an hour flight.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I didn't realise, when we flew back from Paris the other day, that was a 50-minute flight, an hour flight.
Decent, isn't it?
Yeah.
I knew it was close, but I thought it'd be like an hour and a half, 2 hours to pack. You can literally get there in the time it takes, pretty much the time it takes to get from here to Stockport. Like what?
That is mad,
or to my house, Stockport, you get there in 10 minutes.
When you put it like that.
Yeah, it takes me 45 minutes to get in.
Yeah.
And you can fly to Paris in an hour. Why aren't we there all the time?
That's a great tackle there, Masraoui. Lucky lad.
It's only cheap. Come on, Victor.
Oh.
Did he kill Gale Lindelof?
I think so.
Yeah. I think they forgot he was here for a bit.
It's mad because he always ends up, doesn't he, getting like quite a few games. And even when you think like you said then, you think you forget he's there or whatever, but you still end up with like at least a dozen games this season.
Yeah. Livramento, Ethan. Dog paw tattoo on the back of his arm. Talk to me about that.
Oh, I didn't. I think it's his dog from home.
That dog better be like a war hero or work for the RNLI or something.
Why?
Because if you're an adult,
right,
with a tattoo of your dog's paw on your back of your arm, I think that's a bit.
Keith Laird.
Bit childish. No, not Keith Laird.
Wow.
Have you got a dog tattoo? You haven't,
wow.
have you, Ben? Yeah. Oh God, Ben's got one.
I had a suspicion that he might.
Fucking hell. Why is it a really good dog?
Well, it was my dog I had growing up.
Who's his dog you had growing up?
Is that the one who's no longer with us, Ben?
Yeah.
You heartless bastard.
Bastard.
Just because Ethan's leaving, you start turning on Ben.
Sorry,
That's
Ben, I didn't know
terrible.
that. But you know what? I can't help now. I've changed my mind on it, can I? I can't now say I think it's great. I've had dogs die. It is tough, to be fair. R.I.P. Carlton and Maisie. Unbelievable dogs.
Yoro's going to get booked here.
What for?
Because he pushed, is it Fabian Schär off Harry Hamas?
You don't mind getting stuck in Yoro?
No.
I know, was it the other week? Who was it the other day? Someone was getting into a bit of a scrap and he turned up first.
Yeah.
Which I think was Ugarte, actually. When he was getting in a bit of a fight against maybe Leon. Corner, back post. Not good enough. SG says, reckon we can sign Lunin from Madrid. He did well when Courtois was out, might be good value. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want everyone we sign to be like, we just signed them because they were cheap. I know we need to change the way we do things, but we need to sign good players as well. Sign good players early, not shit players at their prime.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point,
That does worry me a little bit here. Are we just going to be getting players who... Yeah, they're cheap, but they're cheap because they're not very good.
You think as well, because of what's happened and the drama we're in, that we will be looking at sell-on value, and if these players don't work out, like look at someone like Eden Heaven, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at someone like even Dorgu.
I think we get 10 million for Eden Heaven now.
Yeah.
If we sold, not that we should sell him, obviously.
No, but it's a tapping, isn't it? Dorgu, even if that doesn't work out, it's not ridiculous money, and you'll probably get some decent money back for him.
Yeah.
But if, like you were saying there, we was arguing, or not arguing, but discussing how much you're going to get for Rasmus Højlund, you might end up losing 50-odd million on him.
Yeah.
Like, we can't afford to keep doing that, so...
No.
Well, if you sold Onana, how much does Onana go for on the market?
I don't even want to... Oh, bloody hell.
I think you'd probably get...
What did we pay for him? Was it 45 million?
I think you'd probably get 25, just because, you know... He's had really good seasons before.
Oh, well really done. Was that Harry Hamas?
Harry Hamas.
Go on, keep going, son. Keep going.
Dallo's on,
give it back.
Dallo's on. He can't get there, can he? Garnacho.
Oh, mate.
He did really well there, Hamas.
That's what I mean.
Good little technical dribbling there. So we want Casemiro clipping this in.
Yes.
It's it.
Fucking have a dig, lad.
Oh, well done.
Go on.
Unlucky there. Nice to see him. I thought he just completely stopped Ugarte, but he went again.
It's better that from Garnacho.
Yeah, it is. It's a decent strike as well. Comfortable again.
Yeah.
To say it was a snapshot, the ball just rolled to him. He did well. Do you think the standard of keepers has gone down, generally, or?
I don't know. I get your point. When you list all them keepers, you think, oh, they're all amazing, and there's a lot of keepers that are okay now, but there's not many that I'd go world class. There was a time when you had so many top level keepers around that it felt like all the top teams had amazing keepers. World class keepers, and that doesn't feel like. But you're right about goalkeeping has changed, because whilst there's goalkeepers that could play out from the back and did it very well, it wasn't a thing, was it? A lot of the time, keepers just fucking stuck the foot through it.
Yeah. Because
I think sometimes, it's like goalkeeping, like Edison.
Well done.
So Ronnie always says about Edison, doesn't he? He says like how good he is with his feet, and he's a decent shot stopper, but he's not unbelievable as a goalkeeper.
No,
he's just mint as a sort of sweeper keeper, if you will.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The best one all round doing that recent memory for me has been Manuel Neuer.
I think he's
got mint with his feet and mint at saving. He's the full package. Where a lot of goalkeepers, one or the other. Alisson Becker's another one who's quite good as the full package, but there's some that are good, great with the feet, but maybe not as amazing at shots. They're all right.
Yeah, I think Neuer's absolutely unbelievable, and he's the first keeper I ever saw where it was a big part of his game, coming out, getting the ball high up, coming up to the halfway line at times when Bayern had corners and stuff like that, coming and claiming the ball. Even at Schalke, he was amazing at that, and completely changed the game in terms of what keepers were expected.
Why is it, right, when fucking Lenny Yoro pushes Fabian Schär, he gets butts, and Dan Burns just shoving and pushing Joshua Zirkzee, it's just, fucking no worries.
Yeah, Neuer was like, he was the prototype of that role, and was the best of it, really, the archetype.
And was a world-class shot stopper as well, and had that physical presence. I think he's the best keeper I've seen in my lifetime.
Was it King Gibson and Anderson all them when they were scoring against him and we beat him? That was fucking... what a time to be alive!
Yeah, unbelievable. We've got a couple of super chats here. Tyson Barnett says, keep Garnacho on the right. He's best when he's on the right. I think he's looked effective today. Mitch L says, Paul Shoes. Also, what type of milk was it, Jay?
Milk.
That's what he says. Don't know what that's in reference to.
Sorry? Oh, the milk. Yeah, sorry.
What?
Right. I have been really trying to get this to the bottom of this. We've spoke to several reporters, and there's a guy flying in from the Washington Post who's going to have a look at it for us next week.
What's the story?
The Sun hashtag Don't Buy the Sun. It's an absolute rag. Did a story about Rasmus Højlund was out buying milk. So we're trying to get the details because everyone's always asking for more information. What type of milk? How big was the milk? Was it was it a 6-pinter? Was it a 3-pinter or a 4-pinter? Was it just a pint? Was it semi-skimmed, skimmed? What's going on? Yeah. So we are trying to find out because obviously that's the sort of the cutting edge journalism you get from
Was
the
it a variety milk? Like
this is it.
Milk, a coconut. I saw a tiger nut milk once on someone's shelf.
Tiger nut.
Tiger nut.
What's that?
It's a type of nut.
Really?
Yeah.
Tiger
you can
nut.
get it milked if you ask nicely. What about the old politicians' question where they ask them how much is a pint of milk?
I love that.
As though it's if you know the answer to that, you are a man of the people. You're.
Remember when he asked Boris Johnson? And he didn't even know what money. He didn't even know what money we use nowadays. He said 6 and 3.
Yeah. But also, pint of milk is like.
Do you know what? I go shopping every day. I know what a fucking pint of milk is. Can I buy 1 pint?
No, that's what I was going to say.
3 kids.
Like exactly, that's what I was going to say. People who have got real lives tend to not buy a pint.
A pint won't last fucking one round of brews.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, he's not very good at finishing, so he won't probably need one.
Very, very good. Although Boris Johnson is probably too good at finishing.
Okay. Remember when I asked Boris Johnson who scored in the world when England won the World Cup, and he didn't know.
Really?
He said was Bobby Moore was he one of them?
Yeah, great, fantastic. Flaws. The super chat says on the keepers thing, it's a bit like with centre backs. In the 90s, 2000s, they were more exposed. Now keepers have centre backs and CDMs in front of them. The players are bigger though. Interesting. Jay, back on keepers. So my milestone chat wasn't ready is now back on topic. There we go. We've read it. He's been a member for 12 months as well. Thank you very much, Flaws.
Thank you, bro.
Very much. IQ says not many can get away with the stash like Euros. I think you get away with it if you do it. Scotty, thoughts on the first half? 1-1. United opened pretty decently, back and forth, 50-50. Then Newcastle had that really good spell after their goal. But United coming back into it?
Yeah, I think so. You sort of expected Newcastle at some point where they were going to become more of the dominant force. I thought it was a goal that could have been avoided. A lot of miscommunication between the defenders. I thought Euro could have done better with tracking Tanala. And then United of the past few games may have sort of folded there, and you could have expected Newcastle to grow more into the game and we become a shadow of everything we'd set out and Newcastle score more goals. But it wasn't, and I thought Garnacho has been really industrious as he has in a lot of games down the right. Yeah. Took his goal exceptionally well. Jay's just wrecking this I thought I was going right on your head. Yeah, I thought Garnacho took his goal exceptionally well.
He did.
And if Xerxes scores that brilliant move that he has with Bruno, we could be 2-1 up here. So it's a good performance, all things considered.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because I thought that we started well and then Newcastle kind of Newcastled us a little bit and they had that really good press and they were winning the ball back and we struggled to play out from the back. But again, you score your chances and things change. Ethan, give me your thoughts on that first half as a Newcastle fan.
I thought Man United started well, Joe. Newcastle didn't really click into gear, and we haven't really clicked into that maybe third or fourth gear yet. We're, like I said, we're pressing, but we're not really scaring you too much. There was a few unforced errors. There was Delo, there was Euro before. We didn't really capitalise on that. I thought after the goal that we scored, which really came not out with too much, we improved. Yeah. But it was a bit of a sucker punch. Garnacho just running through on the right side, no one really tracking him. Ugarte carried the ball really well, and it was a good pass through. And Garnacho timed his shot to perfection, really, with Burns sliding in. He got it perfect, right off the post and in. I thought he had a really good chance as well after that, the snapshot. I think there was some debate, like, could have he maybe done better, but he took it so quickly and he generated a lot of power behind it. Although it wasn't right in the corner, he still made Pope move. I think if United are going to get another goal, it's going to be through him. He's looking dangerous. And obviously there was that Xerxes chance that he's had. Nick Pope pushing it round. I thought that Xerxes should have done a lot better than that. I think he's had a really good half, Xerxes. I thought he's moved the ball really well. He's helped progress it. Out of United's attacking players, he's been really decent. But I really think you should have scored that one. And who knows, it might be Man United in control at the break if it wasn't for that one.
We have this a lot where we'll create chances and we'll create attacks, and they'll be a bit tricky, or it'll be like, you can understand why they missed that, or they'll head it straight to the keeper, or they'll shoot and it'll just go just wide, or it'll be a tame one that the keeper can save. And there'll be these half chances or chances where you'll say, I can understand why they missed that, or that was a difficult one, that wasn't easy, etc., etc. But we always miss it. Like, it wasn't easy, but sometimes you have to score it. Like, we only seem to score. I know Garnacho scored not the easiest of chances today, but, you know, whenever it's remotely difficult, we don't score. And afterwards, you can always look back and go, well, fair enough, it wasn't that easy for Zirkzee, he was hitting it first time. But at some point, if you want to win stuff and you want to push up the league, you need players that do score difficult chances, not just ones that you should score, but ones that you shouldn't score. Because that's what the top players do, or even the players just below the top players. Too often, I think, unless it's like on a plate for us, we just don't put the ball in the back of the net, and that does concern me a little bit. Yeah,
I completely agree with you. You could probably do a montage of the goals that we should have scored this season, but in the context of this game, I think we've probably had 3 clear-cut chances, and the one that Garnacho put away was probably the hardest chance to finish, you know, when you look at it. So yeah, it's a shame Zirkzee didn't score his opportunity, but they're linking well up front, and it's the difference when you've got a Zirkzee that, if he's not getting service as a number 9, will drop deep. So United are still playing with a full team, whereas Højlund just seems a completely lost cause.
I know he should have finished better, but the build-up was fucking unreal. I know he should still score, or at least make it more difficult for Nick Pope. But even there, again, you know, you can see just the confidence is there, the link-up play is there. And I don't want to use this as an excuse to bash Højlund, but we've been speaking about the issues we've got with Rasmus Højlund. You're not seeing that part of his game. The ball's bouncing off him. How often is he linking up with his teammates to even create chances? Sorry, not very often. So, just for these reasons alone, every option's flawed. I think we can all agree that. But I think at the moment, someone like Zirkzee's probably got less flaws or fewer flaws than Højlund at the minute.
Just on another player, Harry Amas making his full debut. Couple of really nice moments from him.
Brilliant.
What have you made of him, Jay?
Fucking loving it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So difficult coming into a game like this for your full Premier League debut against a Newcastle team that are fucking flying away at St James's. And I think he's not looked out of place at all. He's carried the ball forward well. He's got stuck in. He's had a little bit of ag there, people trying to bully him. He's having none of it. Yeah, I've been really impressed with him. Really impressed, and it's good to see.
Yeah, he's looked decent, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think before the game you were saying that there may be 6 positions in the starting 11 for the Lyon game. You know, if Dogger's got competition, it isn't coming from Luke Shaw on that left-hand side, because Harry Amas has given a decent audition that first 45 minutes. He's not really put a foot wrong as far as I'm concerned. And for a wing-back that you want him to be, he's getting forward and looks quite confident with it.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good moments, hasn't he? Had that one little bit of dribbling near the halfway line that was really good. I think it would be nice to see a bit more from him. But I also like when players come in and just what they do it well. He's not trying too much. He's not taking risks and giving the ball away. You could see why you would want to do that as a player. You want to just impress and you want to show what you can do, but actually coming in and being a functioning part of a team, and when you do have the opportunity to do something exciting, you take it. That's better for me than someone that's trying flashy stuff and sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. He's looking really solid, and you know, like you said, he's playing himself potentially at least in with a chance on Thursday, but if not, then maybe just more minutes for the rest of the Premier League, which would be great as well, wouldn't it? So we've got a few super chats as well. Benjamin Toppin says, overall a good half, seeing good passages of play. Zirkzee looks comfortable up top. Hope to see you guys in Atlanta over the summer. Yeah, we hope to be there as well. Massively Atlanta. I've never been to Atlanta, have you?
I did. I was there with him. Funny enough, we stopped over on the way back from Brazil in Atlanta for that day. So didn't really see a lot of it. We went on a little tour. Went to the Black History Museum, a few other places as well. I think I had like a 12-hour. Stop cool. Over there, or a 10-hour stop over there. So yeah, I liked what I saw of it. Look forward to going back there. I think it's New Jersey, Atlanta, and Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be there for that. We'll be over there.
Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I'd love to. Second half then, what do we need to do differently? What do we need to keep doing if we're going to win the game?
Got to be a little bit more clinical, but I think we've been saying that the whole season, haven't we? I think the wing backs, the low got forward well, and we saw Harry Amas getting forward well as too. So we've just got to keep doing that. Pressure Newcastle, because they've not really been as good today, I think, as they have been against us in the past. So apply that pressure. Try and, put them under a little bit, and hopefully we can grow with a bit more confidence because of that equaliser. And just sort of stop snatching at things or panicking when we've got playing the ball out from defence. We saw Eriksson playing it into trouble. We saw Ugai playing it into trouble. Yeah. Seen the goalkeeper playing it into trouble. Just slow it down a little bit. There's no mad rush to get the ball out. Like it's the last minute of the game and we're 1-0 down. Just a little bit more composure at the back. Keep progressing forward with the wing backs. and we'll be all right, and just keep getting Bruno Fernandes on the ball because he's always a guy to make us tick.
Yeah, absolutely. People talking about the game in the comments. I think Newcastle were the better side, but also we did well considering the circumstances. It's a bit weird, isn't it, that we've gone from like every year other than 1995 or 6 or whatever, like United would expect to beat Newcastle. Not that we always do beat them, but United are finishing higher in the league, winning trophies, winning more games. And now it's like, we'd love to get a result away at Newcastle. I can't really believe how bad we've been this season. Because even last season, it was like we were still us a bit. We still finished 8th, which I know is shit, but at least it's like you're one of the better teams in the league. We're just like, how have we fallen this far, honestly?
It is mad, isn't it? Because like, we're 13th at the minute. I don't even look at the table anymore, which is what we were when Tanaka got sacked. So it's not like we've progressed up the table. It is mad how like you go from 8th is a disaster to, well, you think that's a fucking disaster. Wait till you see next season, mate. Yeah, it is, and it annoys me as well because I think other teams, when they have like their shit seasons, like the Scousers, they don't always finish fucking 13th, do they? No. Do you know what I mean? They'll finish like 7th or whatever. So yeah, it's frustrating. And Scotty mentioned it earlier, you know, does Ruben Amorim know his best team? We were talking how difficult is it going to be for him to know his best team when so many of his players are injured and so many players are coming back at different times. So you almost feel like next season he's going to have some problems anyway because he's still got to sign players, work out his best team, get players back from injury. But the fact of the matter is, if you do finish in the bottom half of the table, especially if you don't win the Europa League, he's got to start off well next season. Otherwise, the pressure's going to be on, especially with an Ineos outfit who, despite what they say, have already shown they can be a bit trigger happy, haven't they? Yeah,
they certainly can. I think when you look at when Amorim came in and what your expectations were for the rest of the season, because by his own admission, he said it's going to be bumpy or a roller coaster. You know, they're going to be ups and downs, and it's certainly been that. But you've got to focus on the positives. We're in the quarter-final of the Europa League, and if we win that would be a fantastic season, regardless of how we've played. Jose Mourinho didn't play great football and won the Europa League. It was a good season, and that'd be a great sort of benchmark to bring into the next season and build on.
Would you consider it a good season?
What, to win a European trophy?
Yeah, but this is what they were saying on the overlap, weren't they?
This is the ultimate
is it a successful season if you?
Because obviously, if we'd got relegated and won the Europa League, that wouldn't be a good season. So at some point, it does go from being like the cup saves it no matter what to actually not. I think for me, I think it would be a bad season with a great moment. Would you consider the season overall? We sacked the manager, finished bottom half, but got Champions League football, which is mad. I mean, it's open for.
Well, that's the context, isn't it? Though, like when you look at all the variables, you look at the injuries that we've had. We look at the Marcus Rashford situation. We've had a managerial change, and not just a managerial change; it's a complete change in system for what the players were used to.
The whole club has changed.
The whole club. We're getting a new stadium. We have all that going on, and with the possibility of winning a Europa League. That, for me, with all them things considered, will be classed as a successful season, regardless of the league position. I'd pretty much written off the league around November anyhow. So for me, like, everything's been riding on Europa since then.
I mean, obviously, winning the Europa League makes the season a lot better than not winning anything, because Champions League football would be mad, wouldn't it? The idea of us getting Champions League football after how bad we've been would be incredible, but I'm worried about the Europa League.
Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, may not finish in the top 4. Yeah. Is that a good season, Ethan?
I think
winning your first trophy in 70 years.
70 years.
It has to be. I get what you're saying. I was thinking about what you're saying there, because obviously there's a chance that Tottenham could win the Europa League as well.
No, there's not.
And there's also a chance they could. Well, yeah. There's a chance they could finish 17th. That can't be seen as a good. I think Joe's words of a bad season with a good moment kind of makes sense. I think that's where I'd kind of settle with it. But for Newcastle, a Carabao Cup and say 7th again, yeah, good season. And I know nobody's buzzing about the Conference League, but we missed out in Europe last year. If it was Europe again, it's good. I'd want at least Europa League, but still European qualification, win a trophy. I'd be really.
I wonder
happy,
if you would have won that trophy and be pushing for top 4 if you'd have had the Conference League extra games.
Well,
I wonder if you would have.
That's a good question. Yeah,
it could have easily held you back. Look, you mentioned there about 17th. I didn't even realise this. United only 3 points above 17th. I knew we were doing badly, but like there's 5. So we're 13th. There's 5 points to 12th. So there's a bigger gap between us and the next spot above us. than there is down to 17th, which is West Ham. That's so bad.
It's fucking shite.
And obviously Ipswich are 14 points adrift from them, so that gap is massive. But like, we could easily finish 17th this season.
That's a tough pill to swallow, that one, isn't it? But
that's absolutely
just
mad.
got to, I mean, if you
17th in Europa League, I'd be pissing myself.
I'd be funny as fuck.
I will love it,
especially if City finish 6th and don't qualify for the Champions League.
Can you imagine that?
Because that's not beyond the realms of possibility.
No, that's very much possible. City are currently 4th, but Newcastle are 2 points behind with 2 games in hand, and then they're only 1 point ahead of both Chelsea and Villa on the same point. So if 2 of Chelsea, Villa and Newcastle have a better end to the season than City, they'll finish above them. So yeah, that could definitely happen. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
What happens with if we win the Europa, get Champions League, FA Cup wins Champions League, and top 4, so we could potentially...
FA Cup is Europa.
Is Europa, sorry.
Yeah, you don't get Champions League for that. But there's going to be... The top 5 teams are guaranteed to get it this year, because our coefficient is...
So could there be 7 teams in it next year? Yeah. Villa win the Champions League and we win the Europa, and Villa finish outside the top 5?
I believe so.
Right.
I don't know if there's like a hard limit on how many there could be, but I don't think there is. I think there could be 7. So there will be 5 for sure. We could be the 6th, and like you said, if Villa finish 7th or 6th and win the Champions League, they'll get it as well.
Do you not finish to rebrand the Champions League? You can't. If you could potentially have 7 teams from that's not Champions. That's half a league.
That's literally
the barely decent teams league doesn't have the same ring to it though.
They also ran the league.
The OK teams league. They had a good fucking spell league, which is what it'd be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is just most of the league almost. That's a bigger proportion of the league than Labour got in terms of votes.
Do you know the first team to win the Champions League hadn't won the league or the title? The year before.
Man United.
You good lad, good knowledge. Xerxes going through here. The low.
That's a penalty.
He's not going to get that.
No way.
Shoulder to shoulder. I don't think it
was shoulder to shoulder.
I don't think it.
I think that was forearm in his back.
Soft as
Go on, Ali.
Go on, son. Go on, lad.
Shite. I would like to see this again personally.
Oh, you can fuck off with your little jokers. Well, you dickhead. He's only a kid. Leave him alone.
I don't think that this is shoulder to shoulder. No,
there's nothing in that.
Come on, Dallo.
He's looking for it and there's now in it. If that was the other way around, I'd be fucking raging.
It's a disgrace.
Could have killed him.
I don't know why he don't just try and keep the ball. I suppose because he thinks he could get a penalty. And that's why. We don't really get many penalties though, do we?
No.
It's like Dorgu and Maguire were warming up before.
Lovely.
You saw Maguire like hugging Kane and Trippier and Nick Pope and that. Fuck off, man. Come on.
Garnacho doing the same celebration as Doué and Yamal.
There you go, you see.
Come on. Fair enough, but life.
What? Go on. Share your thoughts. Don't just say, come on. Share your thoughts.
I always think this. Do you don't watch any American sports, really?
No,
do you?
It's not. But like, none of them.
In American sports, so NFL and basketball,
yeah,
it's not uncommon to see like the players doing like rehearsed, acted out like 3-4
fucking hell, Delo.
celebrations.
Oh.
No.
Yeah. Newcastle scored a second goal. Is it Barnes?
Oh, it's that dickhead.
It's a great ball across the box, to be fair.
Fuck's sake. That's annoying, isn't it? It's our classic concede in the first 5 minutes of the second half as well. Is it Murphy who squares it back to him? Bastard. So they win the ball back just inside our half, and then Livramento just
walks past fucking Delo now.
What is Dallo even doing?
I don't know, that's what I thought.
Dallo literally just
oh, fucking hell.
Completely gets sold there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Amas also gets sold at the back post. Dallo should know better there. Amas dives in expecting the shot and he just pulls it behind him. And then we've got 2 players unmarked, one after the other inside our box.
Jesus Christ. So annoying. It's fucking typical United, that.
Yeah. Too easy, that. Shocking from Dallo, that.
Well, it was like nowhere near anything.
No. Just letting him run past him.
This is another thing, though, is like with Onana and Dalot, sometimes it becomes formality rather than shocking. Is it shocking that Dalot made a mistake?
I think from
is it really?
from him,
He's got it in his makeup.
He at least fucking puts a tackle in or whatever. There's just nothing there. He's just miles away from him.
He's like got to be on a plane out of aid in the summer.
Dude, Dalot.
Yeah, he's fucking nowhere near.
Where's your limit, though, man? I get your point, but like Højlund, Onana, fucking Rashford,
Eriksen,
Casemiro,
Sancho,
like,
Anthony.
He's gonna
a big wheelbarrow.
He's gonna have to keep some of him. Fucking hell.
I mean, Luke Shaw's got to go. He never plays. Like, we might be getting rid of one of
Anthony's going.
Garnacho or May.
Molasses obviously going.
Casemiro, you said him,
Yeah,
but he's got to go.
go.
Yeah. You know, Johnny Evans is going, obviously.
Heaton's retiring or moving
Heaton
on,
will
I
go.
think, yeah, as well.
You could easily get rid of 12, 13 players and
Lindelof's going.
And still
Yeah,
end
of
up
course.
finishing the same position next
Yeah,
season.
exactly. Go on. That's shite. Oh, he's offside. I'm pretty sure Garnacho's offside, yeah.
Go on, Garnacho. Fucking hell.
It wasn't? Wow. Did well there, Dallo. Not that well to make up for the goal, but
Oh,
Fucking hell. Come on, time to play some.
I know.
Do you think a defeat affects anything ahead of Thursday? Or
Depends on an age. Like, if it's
just a 2-1.
Yeah, like, you think it's annoying, but it's not the fucking end of the world. If it was like, I don't know, it ends up becoming a bit of a battering, then that can have a detrimental effect on Thursday, because it's just more fucking deflation in it. Don't know, sir.
Newcastle again with the tails up. Need a nice little counter attack with an end product here to give us a little
Go on,
bit of
lad.
momentum. Keep the ball, keep the ball, keep the ball. Shoot then. Bloody hell.
He's shouting.
Oh my word.
Is his hamstring gone?
Fucking
His hamstring's gone.
Oh, for
fuck's sake, Zirk's his hamstring's gone there.
Oh, good.
That's Højlund's dive.
It's got him. Fucking Cheeto can't, can he?
What a bagel.
Oh yeah.
This is what you didn't want.
We forgot to put him in on the list. No, you're on the guest list. Just tell the bouncer.
We forgot.
Falls outside the nightclub.
We're at full capacity. I forgot to put your name on the guest
Forgot
list.
we need you.
Shit.
Do you know what? Fuck it, Bruno. Bruno falls 9.
Who's coming on now? They've
Well-
changed it. Mount's coming on. There's going to be Maguire on it. I don't know if it still will be, but Mount's about to come on. As is Højlund, as is Dorgu. Was it Maguire? You said.
Fucking
Maguire
hell.
was warming up. And
Yeah. I mean, it's one of them where he's just pulled up immediately, hasn't he?
This is just.
Sake. Have you ever pulled a hamstring like that?
Yeah, I did it in the Daz race at Sports Day. Genuinely. And I had to keep running because I didn't want to stop running because all my kids were watching. And I had to do a weird run.
Did you?
Like you're running for the bus.
Yeah, like, my knees were here.
Where did you
Like,
finish?
I finished probably last or joined last, but because it was quite close, I blagged it that I finished 3rd.
Yeah, nice.
Do you know what I mean? Because you couldn't really see. It was just like a line of dads
Yeah.
all panting. And then my mate Gaz Hughes, he won because he won the Sports Dads race every year at Sports Day. He always won it.
Really?
He's moved to Toronto now, thank fuck.
Thank God. And your hamstring's fully fit.
After all the press.
This summer,
Yeah, I
this
paid for his
Sports Day,
ticket.
this summer it's going to be you. It's all yours.
Yeah.
Højlund coming on, Mount coming on, and I think we said as well it looked like
Xerxes,
Dorgu was
like, I know he,
so annoying.
he's not exactly been amazing, but he's been decent. He got a goal the other day, and we need him. He would have started on Thursday. I think that was nailed on. And now he might be out for the fucking, if we do get through, for the semis as well. Or how long's it hamstrings? It's 6 weeks.
Depends, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When it's other teams, it's a month. When it's us, it's 3 months.
Yeah.
Like,
When it's City, it's an afternoon.
yeah. He'll come back. He'll come back on.
He goes,
the 18th,
yeah.
yeah.
Goes to speak to the special doctor.
Yeah.
Hamas coming off. Decent debut for,
Yeah, well,
debut for
Hamas.
him. Not fucking,
Positive.
not his fault that goal's been. I know he slid across, but fuck me, the damage was
No,
done.
I'm not blaming him for that at all.
No, not at all.
Fuck's sake. Well, let's just hope Mason Mount can
This is
stay
unreal,
fit.
this. Even by United standards. Fucking hell.
It's good, isn't it? I know we lose all the time, but I feel like it felt like we were playing worse football last season. Am I being deluded and my standards have just completely dropped? Do you remember when we just used to concede like 1,000 shots every game?
Yeah.
I feel like we looked worse last year, and yet we're 5 places further back than we were. Or did we not look worse and I'm just making it up?
I think the people around us are probably better teams than we were.
I think last season as well, we had a spell where we were all right for about a month. I know it's bad. But it is bad. It's shit. I'm not defending it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we had a spell, didn't we, where we put a run together, and you got a bit excited. You thought, actually, we might be all right, and then we were fucking terrible again.
Yeah.
But we haven't even had that this season, have we? We've had at no point this season, and when I say a run, I mean back-to-back wins in the Premier League. Like, we haven't done fuck all.
No.
So, I think that's another issue.
Well, then there you go, I'd say. That's good as well from Dallo and Hoyland.
Come on, we need Hoyland to have a good game. Go on, Dorky.
Get there. It's a nice tester for the
Go
old
on, son.
That first pass.
Go on, lad.
But I'll probably book him for that. Zach says, I think we looked worse when we were bad. You're right, Joe. It was way worse to look at last year. We've been worse this season, says Will Hollingsworth. Bit of a mixed response. Discombobulate said the mid-table is a lot closer this season, to be fair, so maybe that's playing into it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I think last season it was proper pinball, wasn't it? Football.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There was like where you can see a structure now, whereas it might not be, so appealing on the eye.
That's shite.
Jesus Christ, Bayern there. Come on, man. Fucking hell.
Talk to
well
me,
done,
trouble.
you guy.
Come on, lads. Yeah, it might not be as peeling on the eye this year, but last season, like we four went midfield at some points. Like just
Was it the Bournemouth game?
Yeah.
I know we lost this season.
Brentford as well was another one.
Gap. No, yeah. Who was
The Chelsea game, which was we should have won really.
Fulham as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember the fucking Fulham game?
So I feel like we looked more sort of clueless more often last season, and yet we finished top half at least and won the FA Cup. Whereas this season, I know, like you said, results-wise, we've never had a good run, and I don't think we've looked good by any means. But I think we've looked less chaotic and just mad. Last season was like, what am I even watching here? This season, I can make sense of it, but we just lose every week. And maybe that
last season was mental
us
as
to
well,
win more.
wasn't it? Like, do you remember we played Brighton and fucking Hannibal came on. We lost 3-1 and Hannibal scored, and it was like
was that last season?
Tonight was like, was that last season? Wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
And he was like, oof. He fucking ran into him.
Yeah, he did. Well done, Rasmus. That's a foul.
Don't other people getting injured now.
Shite.
Fucking hell. Yeah, it was like, so I was like, yeah, Hannibal's fucking like what we need at this club, and then barely played ever again.
Trippier's had a bounce back this season, hasn't he? Because end of last season, he looked finished, I thought. There's that game against Chelsea in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup where he basically just made like 4 mistakes in about 6 minutes and put Chelsea through. And he was making loads of errors. He's bounced back, hasn't he, Ethan, would you say?
Yeah, he has. He's had an opportunity because Lewis Hall got injured and he won't play again this season. And he's had a few. I think if you remember last season, you lot beat us 3-2 at Old Trafford. And there was a moment in there where he just completely lost his man at the back post. And then there was the Chelsea one you talked about. He tried to chest it back to the goalkeeper and Mudryk stole it and popped it in the net. And then we lost in penalties.
That's when you hit rock bottom.
Yeah, it was bad. But he's really bounced back this season. He's looked confident. I can't remember a mistake in recent memory, which is really good. He's a good leader.
He is a good leader. I mean, when United were linked with him, and I thought he would have been a good player for us to get. But I think Atletico started being fucking silly about the price.
Well, there was rumours that they wanted like 25 million. And then Newcastle got him for about 13, didn't you?
Yeah, it's 12, 13, you're right.
Yeah,
like,
it's annoying.
Like 6 weeks later. Casemiro warming up as well. Bloody hell. Yeah, I feel like I watch us and I can make sense of the performances a little bit, even though I don't think they're good. I can understand what I'm seeing, and yet we just lose every week. We just never win. Like the Forest game, I think we were the better team in that game. And I've seen since Gary Neville talking about how Forest kind of knew what they were doing and they defended really well. They didn't defend really well. We had shitloads of shots, made a good amount of chances, and just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But that wasn't because Forest defended really well. They just sat back and actually didn't defend really well. I thought we were really good in that game and we lost. And like the City game, I thought we probably should have won that as well, and we didn't. We just go through weeks and weeks of games where we just don't win. It's annoying.
And the thing is like, a lot of the chances we seem to miss, especially this season, is in the first half, and how that can change the course of a game. I think we're 8 games we've lost from a winning position.
Really?
So
that's ridiculous, isn't it?
The most shocking thing about that is the fact we've been in a winning position 8 times this fucking season.
Newcastle just playing their little... Go on, Bandier, well done. Well done. Well done. Stop.
How are we feeling about Bayandera ahead of Leon? Is this a decent enough performance?
It's not been...
The goals weren't his fault, were they?
Flawless by any stretch, but I'd still prefer him to Onana, personally.
Any redemption, Joe?
I think he's got a bit lucky behind here, to be honest. Palmed one back into the middle for Isaac, and he happened to save the second one, which was a really good save, but he flicked it into the middle of the box from across. He gave the ball away on the edge of the box there to Jacob Murphy a minute ago with a bad pass. Again, if that's punished, it's just as bad as Onana, innit? Maybe if Onana's head's just fucked, like, and he's almost certain to put in a stinker, people around him will probably know better, and people who've been with him for the last 6 months might know more about him. But I don't know. I wouldn't say great performance from Bayandera, or even I think it's been a relatively average one with poor moments. To be honest, I don't think I've seen anything at all from Bayandera. I think great. So I don't know. It's just a shit situation amongst an absolute salad full of shit situations.
Yeah, I mean,
what would you do?
I'm not too sure, because if you think about it, like the season is riding on the game on Thursday night, but as a larger pitch, there's also the discussion regarding Amarim's decision making, because if he gets the decision wrong and picks Onana on Thursday night and Onana does a clanger, then that's on Amarim.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you trust?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Slipping over again. And Harvey Barnes has just run through and scored.
Who fell over? Was it Bruno?
Mazraoui.
Oh, Mazraoui.
For God's sake.
Fuck's sake, man. Just a sham. This is what I didn't want to happen. Just fucking getting a beating.
Shut up. Mazraoui slips over. I'd like to see why none of our other 2 centre-backs got anywhere near him after that. But obviously the main error there is from Mazraoui, innit? Ugarte gives him the ball, tries to turn back again, and just as he goes round him, he slips. Lindelof turns like a fucking truck there.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
To be fair, Lindelof's got a man running off him, hasn't he? So it was Isaac on the left. He just runs into the space. That space wouldn't be there if Mazraoui hadn't given the ball away like that, so it's a good finish, top corner. Just don't get anywhere near him, does he? Either of them. Bastard. Try not to get battered now.
That's it, innit? That's the fucking thing.
That's the game.
Try not to get battered, have any more injuries, or the keeper make any more severe fuck-ups.
Not at fault for that last goal.
No,
though,
not
for
at all.
No. But I mean, in terms of we didn't want to batter him before kick-off, and we didn't want to get players injured. Zirks has gone off, and it's 3-1 with half an hour to go.
No, and he's behind here to fucking boot one into his own
Yeah,
goal.
Bruno.
Bruno fucking to batter someone in the crowd. It's all good.
We're so shit at against Newcastle as well, aren't we? Feels like other than the Carabao Cup final, we can't beat them.
No, it's mad, isn't it?
That's when it mattered, though, to be honest.
Obviously.
It'd be the rare occasion that you see Ethan smile in the studio before he goes.
Yeah.
I hate that chant as well.
What?
You've seen whoever, now fuck off home.
Yeah.
I hate when we sing it.
Who have we seen? Harvey Barnes.
That's what I mean, like, you've seen...
What a good cheek though, isn't it? You've seen United now, fuck off home.
I hate it.
Tyndall.
You've seen Tyndall.
That's a good run, good ball.
Go on, doggy.
Offside.
Why are you called the Magpies, Ethan? What's all that
black
about?
and white and that.
No.
Black and white and that.
Why are you not called the Zebras?
50-50, I think, back in the day.
Racism.
The pandas.
Yeah. Typical. Stick with Magpies.
I think they've just done a draw.
Like a tombola and that.
Yeah, Magpies came out.
It's
It's alright, isn't it?
On the goal, Shearer and Nicky Butt.
And we chase shiny things like Carabao Cup trophies. Eh?
Fucking hell, been on the chase for a while, haven't you?
How
many generations of Magpies
Zoom in on Ginola,
died
what's all this about?
Newcastle winning the thing. With some gunshots.
Yeah, someone
next
tried
to
to take him out.
Missed him. Bullet holes in St James's Park there. Unbelievable.
I had a right scrap with some Nerf guns yesterday.
Oh, I hate them Nerf
barbecue.
guns. I hate them.
Great.
Fucking someone got me. Like, we used to get them, the kids, and we stopped. And then I think my sister-in-law got them some for Christmas, and I took him to the charity shop.
My nephew's got right arsenal.
What? You held up a charity shop and nicked all the
The
stuff?
Nerf gun.
Put them fucking balls in a bag.
Give me that £3 now.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Give me 2 P's.
Yeah, hang on, love. Won't be a minute.
Give me that mock pound coin you can put in a trolley now.
Yeah, come on. Hurry up.
They were being weaponised Nerf guns, weren't they? People were putting pins on the end of them.
In Nerf guns?
On the end of the foam.
Just get a bullet. Just get a real gun. Well, I suppose you can't get 10 years in prison for having illegal possession of a Nerf gun, can you? So yeah, fair enough.
Mate.
Or you put deadly Novichok gas behind a very thin glass canister at the end of the Nerf gun.
That's a shout, that.
So that way you kill them, you shoot them, and then you can get out, and then two or 3 days later they'll die a horrendous death.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or just a pin.
Yeah. Done?
Yeah.
Good lad. We've had 60% possession in this half. That's the real quiz.
We conceded 2 goals.
Never mind your goals and all that nonsense. It's all about who's had more possession.
Goals are for the ego.
Yeah.
Possession is the real stat.
Go on, Oyland. Go on, son.
That's a foul, ref. Good. Come on, man.
Come on, Mason Mount.
Bit of energy here. Go on, Mason. Will you get it back?
Fucking hell.
And these longer studs, our players, keep slipping over. Bloody hell. Don't let him piss through everyone.
I think it's time to take Ericsson's off. Looks tired.
Yeah, it was done, eh?
And Casemiro, you think? Has Casemiro come on already?
No, I tried Matt Mainu really ahead of.
Yeah, just because I saw Casemiro warming up. Yeah. But yeah, I'd rather see Mainu come on. Bloody hell, Bruno.
Don't fuck up.
Well done, Binder.
That'll do.
Get him on the plane to Manchester. They probably do. Knowing footballers these days.
Hey, it's bloody typical.
An 8-minute flight from the car park to the stadium.
Harvey Barnes! Fucking hate him as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Newcastle were playing Liverpool once.
Oh, it's his classic J, this, isn't it?
And Liverpool, I think Van Dijk got sent off. And I think, were you 1-0 up, Eve?
Yeah.
And Harvey Barnes went through. All he had to do was square it. and he tried to be the hero, and he fucking give it away. And then within 5 minutes, Liverpool scored twice and won 2-1. And I always fucking remember that.
Did we watch that upstairs?
No, I was at home watching it, and I said to Ethan, I said, "Fucking Harvey Barnes."
Jesus Christ! As well, there, Harvey Barnes. He's having the game of his life. Bless him. Well done, Masraoui. Made up for it. Bloody hell. Couldn't hit Barnes.
It's like Ousmane Dembele, do you remember, for Barca? I never forgave him for that against Liverpool.
Yeah, no, I can't forgive him for that.
Honestly.
Gave Liverpool their, 6th Champions League? 7th?
No.
Would have even won.
How about the other way around of the players for opposing clubs that you absolutely love? Like, I love Demba Ba.
Yeah, that's a shout. Demba Ba was a good one. Graham Fenton was one that sticks in my memory for Blackburn against Newcastle. One for the older ones.
That's good. I like... it was Liverpool, Was it Gareth Bale scored the overhead kick? Was that against Liverpool? Did he score against Liverpool?
Champions League?
Yeah.
I'm sure Gareth Bale scored against Liverpool.
When Loris Karius had a bit of a nightmare.
I like Gareth Bale for
I love Loris Karius.
I do, I love him.
Sergio Ramos.
Did you say class? Jesus Christ, Bayern, come on, son. Give me something to work with. Yeah.
Ramos.
I used to have a soft spot for Mason Mount, actually, for beating City in the Champions League final.
Yeah.
That was a good day. That's offside, surely. Oh no. Well done, Dorgo. Oh, shit.
Everyone's just
Did
rubbish.
Spurs get beat in the end?
Yeah, 4-2.
Yeah, 4-2, I think.
Well done, Bruno. Bloody hell. Stop saying twat him, Ethan. Well done, Bruno. Did well there. He had absolutely nothing on at all, did he?
Do we go down to 14th after this? Everton.
Just have a look, see. Yeah, we'll be down to 14th, us. Jesus Christ. Down to 14th after 32 games. When's the last time we finished that low? Is it 74?
I think under Fergie, the lowest was 13.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it probably is when we got relegated.
God.
What's the remaining fixtures now? Just to
us versus.
Is it Villa last day? I think.
Still got to play.
Liverpool, haven't we? No.
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
So we've got as follows: Leon, obviously, Wolves, Bournemouth, Brentford, West Ham. What's that? Chelsea, and Aston Villa. So no absolute titans, but no.
I think all the teams have taken points
either.
of us over the last season or so, haven't they?
What, sorry?
I said I think all of them teams have taken points of us over the last season or so.
Oh yeah, and if
West Ham.
And well, that West Ham one's a real 17th place 6-pointer, isn't it? If West Ham win that, they'll go above us.
Is the Europa League and a 17th place finish better than an FA Cup win and an 8th place finish or 13th place finish?
I'm probably not the best person to ask this.
Okay, John.
I think that FA Cup win was fucking epic.
Yeah.
Because not only did we ruin Klopp's farewell tour in the quarter-final with that fucking mint game, but also that final against City was the first time I've been emotional at a match since fucking 99. When Kobe Mainoo scored, I was in tears. I was like, fucking hell, this is amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So technically, winning the Europa's better than the FA Cup in it because it's Champions League and all that. But to beat City in that final was just fucking special. Especially after 2023.
It's a shame that winning the FA Cup
bloody hell.
isn't seen as high, as valuable as the
because
of the Champions League.
I think
because it's
like
not right.
At a certain age, you love that trophy, don't you? And it means something. And obviously, the history, the prestige, and all the rest of it. But I think now it's all focused on Champions League football, isn't it? So,
which is stupid, really, because that's mostly for money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because obviously you could win it, but
it's a ball that.
There's a good ball. Good bit of hold-up play as well.
Wide.
Ugarte, worth a shot. At least someone actually hit the ball. Discombobulate said, "No way we're a big 6 club anymore. R.I.P." Akash K says, "Did someone spray semen on the pitch?" I don't think so. Hope not. Alexi Braithwaite, Hello, Alexi.
Oh,
He says, Viva Ethan James. Very nice.
Thank you.
And Marquez C says, fire Ethan.
Thank you.
Out of a
Do I get a compensation package for a sacking?
Yeah.
Like a manager gets a couple of million, don't they?
You get a hefty one at that, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll take a good old sacking.
Well,
if
you've
you're going to give
not
them
been
around.
sacked, and because you've said that out loud, that technically counts as a resignation. You're finished.
At least it's not on record.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. At least it wasn't live. Newcastle playing the ball about.
Bloody hell, doggy. Come on, son.
See, this now, we don't even look like we think we can get a point here, do we?
No.
That's the real change I've seen in the last 12 months. We don't even try in situations like this. Obviously, they're trying not to lose and to concede more goals, but I've got no feeling whatsoever that we'll get even one goal back, let alone two. And I don't think the players think they will either.
More chance Newcastle scored it.
Yeah, definitely. Good claim from Bayern there.
Just a fucking
Mad really, that early goal in the second half. The first half, it was an even game.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be surprised United come out and make a fight of it, but then...
Well, so, no. Jesus Christ, Bayern Days just giving it away, and that's cost us a goal. That's exactly what we didn't want to happen. And now it's like, right, what does he fucking do?
A disaster.
Jeez.
Do you know when people always say, play Bayern, it can't be any worse than Onana? It can be just as bad.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All he had to do today was not do something like that.
That's it. He's not covered himself in glory up until then, but you thought, okay, at least it's not like a howler, but that's a howler.
This is crazy, isn't it?
Fucking hell. Tom Eaton's going to be in goal on Thursday at this rate.
It's going to be Onana. It will be Onana now. It literally will be Onana.
It's like you said, though, unless there's something there.
Yeah.
Like where he's fucking...
But Onana's not going to say he doesn't want to play, is it?
No, but if he's he's
fucking,
his own
the manager
feces.
can tell like his head's gone.
Yeah.
You know, like Fergie did with Jim Lane when he thought he's not fucking right. Jesus Christ, man, that's so fucking shit. What are you doing? What are you doing there? Stick your fucking foot through it. Just get rid. Start. Little dink there when fucking, is it Joe Linton there?
Yeah.
My God, that's so dumb. Why are you even risking that? That's fucking basic, that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's so fucking basic. Literally giving your team no fucking chance of stopping that goal. Oh, good. Andy Gordon's come on.
Cool.
Isak's off.
Isak's come off.
Doesn't it matter? Do you know what I mean? It's fucking mental.
Resting players against
Newcastle
us.
now resting players because they've comfortably battered us.
They haven't even got like a midweek cup competition. Actually, the airport game midweek, can't you? Yeah, sorry.
It's alright, Drew.
The old double game week, as it were.
Oh, yes.
Again, you know what you said about defenders with having no faith in Onana? This is the fucking issue you've got. Because these defenders aren't suddenly going to have loads of faith in Onana.
Oh, no.
And they're not going to have any faith in him if he does decide, for whatever reason, to stick with him. So either way, you're going to have a fucking goalkeeper that the defenders think is fucking shite.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
With football, because we've followed United for forever, and because United have been so good, and even up until last season, finishing 8th and above every single season for my life is fucking unbelievable, really. We assume that things can't get any worse. Yeah. Oh, just play the kids. It can't get any worse than that. Well, it can't be worse than Dalot. It can't be worse than Onana. It can't be worse than Højlund. Most footballers in the world are worse than what we've got on the pitch right now. Because we are still a Premier League side. There's fucking millions of players that are shitter than these. So when it's like, oh, anyone's better than Onana, not true. And actually, most keepers in the world are still worse than Onana. You just got to hope you get one better than him. But, like, it's the same thing all the time. Like, today, he's just been as bad, if not worse than Onana. Or certainly as bad, giving a free goal away, a few dodgy moments here and there as well.
He did it,
It's not guaranteed.
He did it earlier, didn't he, where he got away with it.
Yeah.
And then he did that way, he didn't get away with it.
He's given 2 balls away on the edge of his own box. He palmed the ball back into the centre. I don't want to bash on him. But it's just like we ain't got any better options.
It's a shit situation for Ruben Amorim to be in. Because either way, you're going to be shitting yourself, aren't you, every time fucking Leon have a shot. Yeah. Whoever's in goal.
Yeah. Or whenever we try and play out the back with Bayern.
Yeah, it's going to be like, this is a fucking nightmare.
And then do you put Tom Heaton on Thursday when he's barely started a game of football for 4 years? Is that what we do in the biggest game of fucking the season? Probably not. It's going to be an honour in it now.
Even at pre-season, I like Tom Heaton, but even in pre-season he drops a bit of a clanger, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I do like the guy, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Before the game, I was like, it's got to be Bayern there. Just didn't want him to fuck up, but he has fucked up.
Yeah.
Could be getting 10 minutes there.
This is why I said he should have played Onana today and got it out of the way. You know, like any sort of tension if he was going to play him on Thursday.
Right, but he does this on Thursday though. Bayern there comes in on Thursday. Would have been thinking that was a fucking mistake not to say.
No,
yeah.
Do
you know what I mean?
If
like now you can see he ain't up to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's just he's tried to. Ruben Amorim's tried to give himself the most opportunities to have a keeper in form. He's rested one and tried something different. But the science experiment, they're both exploding in his face at the minute. That's the problem.
It's like pick the least shit, the least likely to screw up.
I know.
How far we done, Phil?
Yeah, very true, son.
Discombobulate with a super chat says, shame on Ineos for forcing Amorim to come mid-season. I feel for him. What was the alternative? It's hard. It's all just shit, innit? They should have sacked Ten Hag in the summer or given him all season. Because we couldn't have had Van Nistelrooy here still now either, could we? That doesn't seem like a great alternative.
Can I say one thing that worries me? Do you know this whole trust the process thing? We've been here before. I don't really remember many managers ever getting a chance or this long of not reaching expectations and it being this bad for so long. I don't ever really remember a manager having that chance and turn it around and it being all wonderful afterwards. It's like, I think it's a right thing to trust the process and stuff like that, but I don't ever really remember it working when it's been this bad. Do you know what I mean?
Jesus fucking Christ. I thought he was going to give another one there. Sorry, Ethan. I mean to cut you
So
off.
how many times do managers start their job at a new club this poorly?
Well, look at Potter. Potter had a terrible start at Chelsea and they just give up with him. It wasn't working out. Who really gets that big chance and then it turns it round and it's wonderful? You really need a bit of momentum from the start, that bounce, but he's not had that at all.
No, but Potter got a pre-season, if I'm right, in there to start at Chelsea, and I think that they.
No. Tuchel got sacked, didn't he?
Tuchel got sacked in like December.
Yeah, Potter came in and got sacked the same season.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And then Lampard took. I think Potter lasted from like December to, was it March?
Oh yes, sorry.
And then Frank Lampard came in because apparently James Corden recommended him.
And he did get a full season, didn't he? The next season, or most of one, and was awful for all of it. But yeah, I know what you mean. There aren't too many examples of managers that come in, start terribly, and then turn it around.
The chat's saying Arteta, but even that was 8th, and then there was an FA Cup.
He won the FA Cup, didn't he, in his first 6 months?
So is that what we're saying then? Is it on the Europa?
Yeah, maybe.
Does he need to win the Europa? Otherwise, we start badly next season and we're in the same situation all over again.
Well, we've saying it, haven't we? If we don't win the Europa and we start badly next season, there's a real chance that Ineos will fuck him off.
And the problem there is if we...
And I don't want him to, by the way, but...
If we spend the summer and back him for a system that the next manager that... You know, because not everyone plays the same football as Ruben Amorim.
Wing backs
how many managers? It's a niche way of playing.
They have to give him to the summer, and if they do give him to the summer, you have to give him all of next season. That has to just be a line in the sand of, you get at least one full season no matter what. If we thought you were good enough 6 months ago, you will get a full season, because coming in halfway through, no money spent on your team, a load of players that clearly aren't good enough.
Yeah.
And then I know there's no suggestion that they are, but like Ethan's saying there aren't a lot of examples of managers that come in, aren't very good, or the results aren't very good, and then they turn around. Arteta is a decent example, but again, he had that FA Cup win to kind of steady the ship a little bit. Maybe he needs that. Maybe like Fergie needed the FA Cup, Arteta needed the FA Cup. Maybe you need Amorim to win this Europa League just to settle things a little bit, because it's not great.
If Amram gets 17th and gets knocked out the quarterfinals or the semi-finals of the Europa League, if I was in yours, I'd probably even sack him. I know that doesn't sound good, and it's like, oh, stand by and give him a chance. You've already given him a chance, and I get that, but I don't know, man. He was 13th when he just came in, and he's made things worse, I think. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, in terms of the league, you're right, aren't you? You are right. We were 13th,
you can't argue with the facts there, or the league positions, or the games that he's won. But they have to take into context the sort of the injuries that he's had, and that was something I criticised. Ten Hag has not been able to get the best out of his team when he was injured. But Ruben Amorim didn't want to take this job, knowing fine well that this would be the case. But his hand was forced. He has to at least have a summer and a season with players that he wants to sign. And even if we finish 17th and we get knocked out of the Europa League, I don't put any of this down to Ruben Amorim's fault. He's got a goalkeeper or two goalkeepers that are shit at goalkeeping. And he's got a striker that can't score. It's like trying to win the F1 with a fucking stagecoach.
Yeah, it's a joke. I just hope Ineos feel the same.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I just hope they do.
Well, they have to, because they'd have to sack him. But I don't think they could afford to sack him. Worst case scenario, they want to sack him at the beginning of next season. And they've paid a lot of money to buy players that...
The thing is that we couldn't afford to sack Ten Hag.
We couldn't afford to sack Dan Ashworth, but we did.
Yeah, we couldn't afford to sack Ten Hag.
We'll find a way. Like Joe says, never underestimate how bad things can get. They can always get worse.
Yeah.
And I don't think they should, but they might fucking do.
I hope not. The thing for me is, I don't think they're going to sack him this season. I think that's...
No, I don't.
My worry is, and we said this, we all predicted this after we won the FA Cup with Ten Hag. We all predicted this, and it happened exactly as we all thought it might, is that we start next season badly after finishing 8th, and then you get sacked.
Yeah.
And that's my worry with Amorim. Isn't that I think he'll get to the end of the season no matter what. We're halfway through April now. We've got 6 games left. But if he starts badly next season, why would he? He's had his summer now. He's had his players. That's my worry. Is that we'll be in the same situation as we were this November.
And I don't
with
care
a
what
manager
anyone
that you
says.
kind of have to get rid of, because it's and also the difference with
from a
Amorim
human
is
point
it
of
would have
view.
never have been good if that does happen.
Like with the whole stadium
Just
rushing
needs
it
to
through
not.
in 5 years when everyone says it should take 10.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to be a twat, but Jim Ratcliffe is calling the shots and he's 72 years old. He's not a patient man. Do you know what I mean?
He wants that league title, doesn't he?
Like, he is. You know what I mean? Like, he does, sorry. So, again, I don't want to sound like, well, fucking hell, we lost, let's all be melodramatic, but this is the lowest I've seen United in my lifetime. So, I do worry.
Yeah, it is
and it's
worrying.
the same mistakes we've always made. We back a manager, we buy players for him, whether that's Van Gaal, whether it's Jose or whatever, and then a new manager comes in who don't want them players, and then we start all over again. So the difference is now we haven't got any fucking dough.
I just think I appreciate Ethan's comment and stuff, but I think it's very knee-jerk to suggest, even as if we're not going to get relegated, you got to look at the positives. And like Amadi, our best player of the season, has been out for the majority of it, at least under Amorim's tenure. Mainu's coming through, but he's been injured. Mark, you had the whole thing about Marcus Rashford, who was our
oh my God,
Jesus Christ!
Was our talismanic, erratic striker. He's no longer at the club. There's so many sort of ways it can get better.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just, this is all the fears and our insecurities coming out because of the match that's happening in front of us.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Like, even if this was 2-1, we wouldn't be saying any of this.
No.
But eventually, these
But indeed,
things
they made that fuck up, Joe. You don't.
No, of course. But eventually, these things that are a bit of bad luck, one-offs here and there and everywhere, that's not a foul. It's a fucking yellow card for diving. Eventually, they add up. Like Ethan said, he came in. We were 4 points off third in 13th, and now we're 14th 6 months later. It's not hard to paint a picture that things haven't been very good, is it? And I'm not saying it should have been way better, or that everything was laid out for him to go on and push for top 4. It wasn't. But once narratives start to change, we saw it, we predicted it with Ten Hag, and it happened exactly the way we've worried it might. That's all I'm saying. I can just see it unfolding. Because now, we're literally at a point now where he has to start next season well. He has to. Doesn't he?
He knows that himself.
Of course he does. Yeah. But if we don't start next season well, I don't think he'll get to the end of next season. Like now, there's only one way forward here, and that is you have to start next season really well. That's scary. That.
Yeah, because at the moment, because of the sort of nature of when he came to the club, he's got a period where he can, he's not. I don't think he's going to be judged because he's not got his own players or had enough time under to get the players to play his own system. Them excuses are off the table when it comes to August.
Yeah, and but again, it shouldn't be really, because even one transfer window isn't enough.
No.
He should have been arriving in August with a clean slate and 150 million's worth of players. Instead, he's got loads of black marks on his copybook, and this now, well, you've had a summer now. Really, the first summer, you should get that for free, really. Yeah. But he won't now. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem, because Ineos fucked up the way they got rid of Ten Hag.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we've put Amorim in a situation where this summer, which usually the first summer is like, you can have that. Now it's like, if this first summer doesn't go well, he'll be gone. Yeah, that's really bad.
There needs to be evidence. I mean, from a fan's point of view, we're not going to win the league next season, but there needs to be evidence. There needs to be evidence as to what his plan is, or a level of improvement that we've not seen since Ten Hag. Otherwise, then he'd have to go. But for me, if we're 17th, that's as low as it can go, innit, lads?
You'd think so. You'd hope so.
How good are Ipswich?
Shite.
No, we're all right.
Darren. There you go. You like this, Jay? At least one of my 3 Newcastle fantasy football players scored.
Love that. Always love that after a loss. It's my favourite thing.
I know you love it.
I love it. Hey, I remember once I was at Old Trafford and I heard someone say, I've got Aguero in my team. I wanted to fucking chin him.
Yeah. Well, you'll be happy to know, Jay, that I've got none of the Newcastle players that scored in my
Good lad. So that's proper top red stuff. That's what I love to see. I took them all out this morning.
Enrique Manyares says the difference is we have a shit squad. Yeah, true.
Everything, we're all, I agree with what Scott was saying. I get it from a logical point of view and from a fan point of view, from where I feel. My main worry is if things don't improve, it's Ineos. I just don't have that faith in them to be
patient.
Yeah, patient and see the bigger picture. I think they're
Can you imagine
somewhat erratic and impatient and
Man United,
clueless.
Man United with a super chat. I hope it's not the Man United. Says done with Amorim. He came in, we were 4 points off top 4. So that is a opinion that exists.
And that'll only get louder.
Yeah, well, do you know if you're Ruben Amorim right as well, man? You must think, fuck's sake, when you got it, you nail it, and these goalkeepers, about these strikers aren't scoring. One of my best players done what a fucking be here, and he won't do what I ask him to in training. It's not easy, is it?
No,
it isn't. But there again, surely we should be better than fucking where we are. Just needs to get some more players in. Needs to get players back. It's mad as well because the 2 brightest stars we had just before they get injured. Ahmad was flying before he got injured. Then he gets injured. Then Lisandro Martinez looked back to his best.
Yeah.
Was even fucking scoring. And then he gets injured. You're like...
Mainu was coming back after.
Mainu was coming back. Then he gets injured.
Xerxes had a decent
Xerxes had a little spell there. You think, he's going to start on Thursday. We need him. Go on.
I forgot about Luke Shaw, who is literally one of our most talented players as well. Do something. I know what you're laughing at, shithouse.
Get out.
Got a corner. Well done, Rasmus.
I'd love him to score this corner. He just needs something, don't he? Fucking hell. I worry about Thursday night, mate.
The Collective AU says Amorim with Ole's squad doesn't have this issue. You've got Pogba and you've got Lukaku, you've got Bruno. Were Lukaku and Bruno there at the same time? I think they went there for a bit. You might be right.
Fuck me, Ericsson.
Yeah, the squad isn't good enough, is it?
But the problems you were talking there with the likes of Mainu being injured or Ahmad, the more successful teams have replacements when them injuries come in.
Yeah.
Man City, this is what I was getting back before. You were saying Garnacho's the best of a bad bunch. We haven't got the ability to fucking rest and rotate. We haven't got the ability to cope with... Let's not forget, Ahmad's never played 25 league games in a season for Manchester United. Now, I love the kid, you know I do. But it shouldn't be that if Amad Diallo gets injured, the fucking wheels come off.
No.
We should have other options. By rights, he probably should be being rotated even when he's fit.
Well, the perfect example is the goalkeeper, isn't it? We've got a goalkeeper who's made the balls up, so hopefully our second one doesn't.
Yeah.
He comes on.
Is it Ortega who plays for City?
Yeah.
Remember, was it him that fucking started the FA Cup final a couple of years ago?
And not to have a go particularly and call out Binder exclusively here, but it's not that hard as a keeper to not have a disastrous game.
No.
Like, most keepers don't have a shit game of the time.
This is an international, right? He's played a handful of games for Turkey. He's obviously, worth some of them. We've paid 7 million for him. He's not a kid who's just come into the United team who's 12 or whatever, who's shitting himself. He's a fucking professional footballer who's played at the highest level, who should be able to kick a ball out without kicking it straight to Joe Linton.
Full time. There you go. Manchester United have lost 4-1 to Newcastle.
Let's have Ethan's parting thoughts and Scotty's parting thoughts before we...
Go on, Scotty, what do you make of that?
Before we hear from him.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of uproar regarding the scoreline. The biggest loss was probably Xerxes' injury and the question marks over the goalkeepers. I think now, what does Amarim do? Take a step back and look at the first half on its own. I thought United were more than worth the sort of score in the second half and maybe win the game. They score an early goal in the second half and it sort of changes the dynamics. The following, was it the 2 goals, was a Mazraoui slip. Yeah. And another one was Bayern Day mistake. So take them 2 individual mistakes out. And I'm trying to put positive spins on
why
it.
not?
And then and then it's a 2-1 game. In the first half, we were pretty decent.
Yeah, there were some positives there, but too often we lose these close games instead of winning them, don't we? Ethan, a big win for you. Final time on Stretford Paddock. Your last shift today. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you, Joe. And I'm not going to be all smug and silly and talk about the game, but I want to use the opportunity to say thank you very much. And I got all sad there.
It's okay. And thank you to the viewers as well, because everyone loves you. And all that down the years of all the puns and all the stuff on Paddock Live and all the people in the comments and stuff. It's been fantastic having you, and I know everyone in the comments is saying all great things, and I'm sure you'll go on to do fantastic things with Stephen Tries and whatever you do beyond that as well. So I know you're a bit emotional.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I've loved working here and appreciate all the comments. Very kind. Thank you.
We've absolutely loved having you, and I'm not far off getting emotional myself, to be honest. Jay?
Ethan, you're a star, man. We're going to miss you, but take comfort from the fact we're all confident you'll be back within a month with your tail between your legs. You know what? Yeah. If you think you're walking straight back into a job here, you're dead fucking right.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Thank
well
you
done, mate. You've been a star. You have, mate. I love you, kid.
Nice one, mate. Honestly, I love you to bits. Privilege. Right, thank you for joining us. We'll be back with the post-match review in a few minutes, so stick around and stay where you are. Manchester United have lost 4-1 to Newcastle. We've lost Ethan, but the Reds, we keep marching on in some ways, don't we?
Don't worry. You think it can't get any worse?
Yeah.
Wait till full time on Thursday.
Yes, exactly. See you in a bit.